ground.
Hello. Good evening.
Red one.
Welcome.
Jared, red one.
Got it. We've done this again. Always wrong. I was looking on my Twitch stream rather than my OBS, so I'm pressing the button to change scenes. It's all
background. It's all over the place.
That's
That's just the professional streamers. You know, they just let anybody be partner these days.
Yeah.
I look like the Mona Lisa.
You kind of do.
I do. I look just like the Mona Lisa.
What the fuck's going on with it? There we go.
He fucked it up, but he did it in an interesting way.
Good evening, everybody. Oh no! Don't turn your light on after I adjust it.
Sorry. Okay,
this is the stuff I have to work with. This is what we have to work with on the podcast. It's like
my face.
He looks like the Terminator, the T-1000.
Yeah, the melty one.
The melty one.
The melty Terminator.
Oh my god, it's like a fucking sandwich. It's like a tuna melt. He's like, yeah, the melty one, the one with the cheese and the tuna fish.
That's the tuna.
Oh wow!
Damn it! Now I want a tuna melt.
So yeah, that's
the intro, by the way. Everybody.
That was, I mean, that's
no
brilliant.
Backwards.
That was like straight away out the gate. Let's talk about something completely irrelevant. So it's great. Well done. Welcome everybody to the Asylum. This is episode, I think, 35. We should know what we're doing by now, but quite clearly we don't. Unfortunately, a little bit of madness is lazing it up in Vietnam, supposedly working, which I don't think sleeping with hookers is what's called working these days, but, you know. But
his wife might be watching. You never know. Keeping a prepared.
She knows the score. She's even said to him there's like little madnesses running all the way around Vietnam.
What's the little Vietnamese madnesses?
We used to joke about that in America. Like we had the sailors, you know. They used to have sons and daughters in ports across the world.
Yeah, and they just got madness in every port. There's an extra one.
That is madness.
Madness in every port.
Oh God! The thought of it alone is terrible.
It's like assembling IKEA furniture. Insert tab A into slut B. Madness in every port.
As simple as that.
Wow, and that's how it happens, folks. That's how it happens. So yeah, Madness isn't with us today, but we are joined by the wonderful. What's
my name? What's my name?
Yeah, where is it? Hang on. I thought he was interrupting me, but it's not.
I saw what happened.
Yeah, SuperMacBrothersRyan is here with us today. Woo! Welcome. He's been like streaming for about 6 hours today, and he's just going to talk over the same shit that he did on his show. So if you watch that, prepare to listen to the same stuff. And we're also joined by Mr. HCVertigo, as always. Welcome, sir.
As always.
And you've been streaming practically all day as well, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, you've just finished.
I just woke up from my nap too.
Literally just finished.
So.
So yeah, there we go. I hope you're both well. Do you want to tell everybody? We'll start off with this for now. Give us something to talk about. What you've been up to, and who you are. Start with Mac, because I'm sure these people have never heard of you before.
Fucking be better off if they hadn't.
Yeah, some things we can't turn back.
Yeah,
nope.
Erase the memories. So I'm Mac, SuperMacBrothers on YouTube, SuperMacBrothersRyan on Twitch. Really am looking into changing the name and making it a little more coherent.
Yeah, we're running out of space on the podcast.
If I had to put on a football shirt, it would cost me a fucking hammer. Like it really would.
You know, the business cards, just the business cards he's got.
I have business cards.
But he pulls them out. Yeah. They're like tape measures. You know,
like fold out the rest, and you'll find the address. But yeah, I streaming some more Star Citizen today. Very excited for CitizenCon, so I've been talking about that. 3.3, we will talk about, I'm sure, but I've been talking about that, trying to figure out what's going on. And we just looked at the monthly report, keeping up with the videos as much as possible, taking tomorrow off, because obviously the next day is going to be... Is something happening on Wednesday? I think someone's told me something's going on.
Yeah.
I
can't
think
remember what it was called.
I don't know. There's like something all over Twitter about eating out in Austin or something.
Oh, that'll be it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I won't be doing that, bastards. But that's me. So yeah. Woo.
Apparently, everyone's moaning about your screen. I don't know what's wrong with it.
I'm not surprised. Look at it. It's a mess. Let me try doing that.
Well, turn your light back on, and then I'll turn the.
Hang on, let me try and push it.
You gotta get that virtual webcam there.
I do. I need to get something that's not a potato.
Yeah, but what happened to your light? Now you got no light on your face. You had one on and then you turned it off again.
Why is it doing that? I'll figure it out. You keep on with the show.
Okay, Mr. Vertigo, tell people about yourself.
I'm HCVertigo. I stream Twitch stuff and games and sometimes content, news, and we did Fallout last night. It was great. We beat it. It was wonderful to go back to the old RPGs that I grew up on. Play through that. It was lovely. Lovely playthrough.
Was you role-playing in it? I saw something about role-play.
Yeah, it's supposed to a post-apocalyptic role-playing game, so you have to kind of create your character and play your character. Like Fallout, if you metagame it, it's very easy to get through. You know, if you try to play a character with some scruples or some limitations to your character, like my character wouldn't do this. Towards the end, I eventually started metagaming because just the end of the game becomes just pure combat, and it's just like another damage sponge just shows like 50 damage sponges are in front of you with just they're throwing nuclear bombs around all over the place, and it's just like, I ain't got time for this. Okay, we're just gonna put this on. We're gonna pretend we're this guy because we know exactly how they respond to this character. So we're gonna just blaze through this part, and we're getting to the end. The boss will beat it and put it in the. Because I think I was almost to the point where I was getting ready to end the game, an hour from my stop time last night, and I was like, well, we'll just end. We'll just get to the ending. We'll see the ending video, and 3 hours later, I'm still struggling with trying to get to the end, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna have this. I'm not gonna have like an hour's left of the game tonight to stream. We're not gonna go, okay, we're gonna finish up Fallout tonight. Okay, 1 hour of Fallout, and then okay, we're done with Fallout. Now what? Let's go back to Star Citizen. So we finished up Fallout last night. But yeah, you have some extra
Fallout 1. Fallout 1 or 2?
The first one.
So are you planning on playing the others, or?
Yes, we're gonna go through the entire series, just like we did Wing Commander. So yeah, we finished the Wing Commander series through Freelancer, you know, Wing Commander 1, 2, 3, 4, Wing Commander. We even touched on Wing Commander Armada a little bit. I didn't touch Academy because Academy essentially is just Wing Commander 2 that you build your levels for. We also did Wing Commander Privateer. We did Freelancer. The one game I want to go back and touch on from Chris Roberts' repertoire is Starlancer, which is a science fiction, you know, kind of like Wing Commander, but after the Wing Commander series was over.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of variety streaming these days, waiting for
3.3. Yeah. So awesome. That's good.
What have you been up to, Miz? What have you been doing?
Yeah, Miz, what have you been doing?
I've been doing nothing, absolutely nothing. So for me, I've been doing obviously some project that I've been working on, painting my fingernails. They look great now.
Beautiful.
And that's taken up about 3 months of my life. It feels like it, at least. I don't know how long it's been taking, but I have finally finished. The project is done, and I handed all the stuff over that needs to be handed over. But I can't talk about it yet, unfortunately, which would have been really good because we could have had something to talk about this show, but instead I can't. So next Monday you can hear all about it, or if I get to stream before then, I'll talk about it. But at the moment, I'm not allowed to talk about it until they're ready for it. So anyway, yeah, so I've been working on that, and that's taken up pretty much all my time. But that is now done, so I can get back to streaming, doing the podcast, and playing some I actually played some GTA 5. I played some games, which is the first time I've done in what feels like an age. So, yeah, NDO, blah, 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 NDA.
NDO.
So that's NDO and NDA. That's pretty much what it's all been up to.
NDO.
It's a new song. It's coming to the charts near you. So yeah, that's me. There's nothing to talk about until next week when it's all lifted. But it's worth it. It'll be good. I'll show it all off then, and you can all see it and go, oh, whoa, that's shit, and move on. Right, so we're gonna start talking about this game that's called Star Citizen. Apparently, we do, as we like to say, 10% worth of Star Citizen and the rest, whatever. I believe Tuteman's in chat said he's going to count our words to make sure it's 10%. So we're going to get lawyers on our arse now if we don't talk 10% Star Citizen. So unless you've been living under a rock, SC related, OCS is now coming in 3.3 and not 3.3.5. So there we go. Woo.
It might be 3.3.5. It depends on what the actual interim. If they time it right, so it is 0.5.
They could release it and then release another one straight after. So I mean that's a good point. We can go straight onto that. Is like they said that we're going to have full. Actually, I don't know if we can really talk about it, but full release of the PTU on Wednesday. To link with
and can I just interrupt you? The madman Chris Roberts, like we're just going from straight Evocati to open PTU. It looks like we're not doing.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're just like, what are you doing? It's just you open to the floodgates, release the Kraken kind of scenario here.
It's just going to be a complete mess.
Well, I can't talk about. Oh, for God, Mac, what the fuck?
Just carry on. It's just like a delay. I can't see what's going on.
Jesus Christ. It was perfect at one point, and then you keep changing it.
For those of you that want to know what it's like to have a small, who wants to know what it's like to have a child or a cat or a dog, this is
or a Twitch partner.
What are you doing?
Like the rest of us aren't partnered, but Mac is a Twitch partner.
I have one light. And it's so...
it's like...
Oh, that's so bright.
I'm going to start a donation goal for you just to get another goddamn light.
But yeah, tomorrow, Sunday, I'm having a donation goal for a new light. Oh,
just
geez,
change the exposure on your camera and don't... he knows absolutely nothing about streaming. He's got partner through literally doing nothing about streaming. He just sits there.
Being present.
He turns it on, puts a Star Citizen video on in the background, and then he just chats. He doesn't know how to work his bot. He doesn't know how to do lights. I mean, the fact that he's even put a green screen up is a kind of miracle.
Make it effort. I just didn't take it down from earlier. That's all.
That's good.
Even a clown that's bad at juggling can be entertaining.
Yes. Shall I just get a green screen of a clown? Just not even a green screen, just the image of a clown.
Can we get it? Like
we have an image of the clown. It's sitting in your square.
Yeah, on the jester of the fucking streaming world.
Oh dear God.
Oh well. So we were talking about the.
It was fine. What are you touching it for?
No, I think I can make it better. Just carry on.
Oh dear God.
Never give up on greatness. Professionalism. Never give up.
Hold on, Mac. There's a saying: those who never quit, winners never quit, but those who never win and never give up are idiots.
Are streamers. Look at it now, though. If I didn't fuck around with it, it wouldn't have come to this.
No, it was perfect.
Yes, but
like
we all
2
speak
minutes
further
ago.
along in the podcast.
Yeah, we're actually killing the whole 10% of Star Citizen by.
Yeah,
we're stretching it out just like CIG here in content coming up to CitizenCon. We're spreading it thin, folks.
We're getting people used to the nonsense streams.
It's so thin we're reusing it. It's like so.
Episode 35. That seems familiar. I feel like a little bit of deja vu.
No, 34. But yeah, it's so what was he saying? Yeah, they basically. Looks like they're going to release straight to PTU. Now, the thing is, do you think they're going to do that regardless of how bad the Evocati build is? Do you think they're still going to do it?
They haven't shied away from it in the past. 2.0, 3.0, 2.5, 2.6. They'll patch it. They'll patch it after the release date. But Chris Roberts pretty much set a hard deadline, CitizenCon. So I think they're really, really trying.
Yeah, if they don't hit that, I mean. With Chris, if he doesn't feel it's ready, he can always just pull it. But it does depend on how shit it is. What's my forehead doing now?
I'm trying to fix it. Just don't touch anything. I'm trying to fix it.
I almost called him.
I'm trying to fix your crap. Okay.
But I do feel like they will just release it because the deadline is. I mean, technically, if they release the PTU on the 10th. It still missed the deadline, regardless of the knowledge of pushing it back to the 10th anyway. It's always live, isn't it, on the release date? Not PTU open, but live.
I don't know if it is always live. Is it always live when you?
I never thought that, but apparently it is.
No, they've missed release dates before with the PTU. They've pushed it.
Yeah, I think as long as they it wide PTU, they're like, yeah, that's okay. We've done it.
Now here's another scenario. They don't like the quality, but Chris Roberts wanting to keep it, wanting to actually accommodate the, say, oh, we're working towards it. he opens it up to the second wave, like concierge and subscribers. He's like, well, it's not quite. We're having some stability issues, but we'll open it up. Get the NDA Evocati. We'll open it up to the first wave, concierge and subscribers.
So as he said, it was for everybody. So to be honest,
Yeah,
I mean,
that.
from past experience of the Evocati build, that it wouldn't be the first time they've just opened it up because they want to push it out. But it never straight open. It's been like first wave, second wave, pretty much boom, boom, straight away. Because like there's been times from Evocati sitting there going, why the hell haven't you released this? Why have you released this to first wave when it's not ready? And that's because it's been, in their mind at least, in Evocati for too long. And I can never confirm or deny whether it's a bad build.
Oh, damn it, I was just going to try and
he's just going to
out of him then, yeah.
I've heard rumors it's not quite ready yet. I've heard rumors it's not quite ready. That's from my contacts in Evocati. But then again, when has a build ever been ready for release?
yeah, that's true. Ready is relative to people's expectations. So
yes, exactly.
My ready is I don't care as long as it's loadable, which I don't even know if it is, to be honest. But anyway, I'm sure when I personally don't think we'll see a wave 1, wave 2. I think they'll just go straight to open to you.
I definitely think it'll be straight open, and I think it will open regardless, even if it's like, not saying it is, but even if it's crashing to desktop every 10 minutes. Not saying it is or it isn't, just saying if that was the case.
You're
I think
digging a hole just by saying that.
Digging a bigger hole.
It's Evocati build. Trust me, Evocati builds are usually very unstable. In fact, I remember reading the patch notes. I think it was for the G build where they purposefully had a bug they left in. And they were like, this build was going to be really unstable, and we're looking for data on this. So everybody get in there, test it, and do crash reports because you're going to be crashing every 5 minutes, and we really want to focus on getting this one bug.
Yeah, and
sorted
actually,
out.
While we're on the subject of Evocati, can we get some big thanks for the Evocati, because I'm not Evocati, and they actually do work like shit to try and they have to put up with so much, because those builds, from what I understand, are a mess, and they dedicate hours of their day just to try and get online, get into it, report the bugs, then try and recreate the bugs. It is a complete mess. So they actually deserve a lot of. I'm not breaching anything. Miz told me.
Neither am I.
Yeah, that's it. We have our contacts, but it's not Miz.
I mean,
he actually tells me nothing.
Yeah, bastard. I have my own contacts too, and I have some other sources I pull from, friend of a friend kind of stuff. But if I would be an Evocati if I wasn't playing Star Citizen all the goddamn time, anyways. As soon as it gets out of Evocati and gets to my hand, I'm breaking stuff like over months.
Yeah.
Like I'm finding the really weird exploits and bugs and whatnot, like the AUEC duping, how to get yourself inside of an Aurora. It's someone's only Aurora. They only have one Aurora, and I can just go right inside of it and steal it.
Would you actually want to be an Evocati then, if you had the option?
No. As a content creator, no.
No.
If I was just a fan of Star Citizen and I wanted to help out, and I had a real job, and I came home, and I put an hour into Evocati every night if I could. But as a content creator, it benefits me too much to be able to talk about this stuff. So that's the main reason why I rejected Evocati. Because if I get the NDA really, the NDA really screws me over. Because if I hear something, even if it was like publicly released, but yet I was under NDA, I couldn't talk about it. But since I'm not under the NDA, no matter what I hear, I can just say
shit about it, can't we?
Yeah.
Play the video.
I heard this rumor, this is what I'm hearing from my contacts in the Evocati. Here's was posted on Reddit. Let's look at this video.
All those people that signed that NDA form who really respect what they're doing. it's all those people.
We could talk about like Star Citizen as a business and a video game. Like everybody, like we had this discussion on the captain's table where like everyone's like, we don't like Jared. Like, well, the goofiness is perfectly acceptable to me. It's a video game. If you can't have fun. If you can't have fun, then what's the point? What's the point if it's an endeavor? And it's like, it's the NDA, super serious legal thing. Like, no, fuck you. It's a video game. Yeah. I mean, like, everybody kind of knows what's coming up. CIG is super, super open about what's coming up. Eventually, we're gonna have to ATV, we're going to have to switch over to community generated content because they're not going to be talking about development. They're going to have these long stretches in between, like, oh, we have this other ship, or we have this expansion pack we're working on. You know, what's going to happen as we get closer and closer to release when ATV, with ATV, they're going to have to talk more and more about, or ATV is just going to have to get shorter and shorter, or it's going to have to go away, or it's going to have to be less frequent, or they're going to have to start talking about more community stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when it starts getting to, like, already we've seen changes in the development process. Oh, sorry, in the production of video content that they put out, and it has to adapt along with the stages that Star Citizen's at. So currently we're in the current status of just giving us little bits about the quarterly releases, about what they're working on. But eventually, when it is into beta or further than beta, and we're no longer doing the quarterly patches, like once the game's released, it'll just be maybe updates on new upcoming ships, but it probably won't be an ATV like we used to. That'll change the format and all sorts of things will change. But that's part of it. And I never used to like Jared. I used to get annoyed by him, but now I actually think he's one of the solid pieces of the community. What?
Tolerable.
Yeah, well,
I never used to like him. Very tolerable.
For a public face. For a public figure, he's exactly what you want in that position. He's inoffensive. And it just
took time for him to get in comfortable with me. And now he is. And now he don't get me wrong, he talks over the devs now and again, and you're like, oh, just let him talk. But we all fucking talk too much. And I think Jared is the ideal guy for the job. Anyway, we fucking digressed like crazy there, didn't we?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, he's like when he started it all, it was kind of a new thing, and I think he doesn't talk over as much as he used to. And if you watch any like new podcasts and things like that, and so even we do it now still, but people do talk over each other, and it's actually something you have to learn to shut up and let other people speak and not talk over the top of them at times. And it is something that you actually have to work at. And I think maybe after he's done it for a while, it's sort of showing that he's doing that and getting better at it, which makes it less annoying. I think
he's a natural now at what he's doing, and for people that know him, maybe they are the ones that sort of get a bit frustrated because they know he's going to constantly interrupt people. Not interrupt, but sort of talk too much over people. But as a new backer to the game, they see him, and he is the ideal face for the game, for presenting the new game to new people and talking about it. And I respect him for that. I think he's doing a great job. And considering, like, as a content creator, we've all had to deal with shit from not the whole community, everyone, because of sort of outsiders of the community who hear about the game being a scam and all this sort of stuff.
Not just outsiders, but people in the community who attribute him because I've been there as a mechanic. In my previous career as a mechanic, I was a mobile technician. I would actually go out and fix people's forklifts, scissor lifts, boom lifts, man lifts in their warehouse or on their job site. And if someone in the billing department made a mistake and they overcharged our customer, or they double charged them, or they had some sort of problem they didn't quite like, guess what? Guess who got the ration of shit? It was the guy who was right in front of you. They were talking to me like I could solve their billing problem, or I can solve the problem with their salesman or something. That promised, and overpromised and underdelivered.
You think the amount of flack that we get as just content creators? Imagine the amount of shit that Jared has to deal with as a face of the actual game. It must be awful for him. So I feel for the guy, to be honest.
Anyway. Anyways, after digressing, we're back to the test batch being released to PTU. I think that's what we were talking about. So the other thing I was going to kind of hit upon is, like, obviously, it's actually in the CitizenCon, I think, the summary of what's going to be on. There's going to be, like, the Road to the Future to release, which we'll talk about in a bit. And like in I think it was one of the Gamescom, we actually had was that the one where they didn't have the presentation, the Squadron 42, and we had the slideshows of what was coming up, like year by year and everything, and there was like a load of things.
It was 2016, I believe.
Yeah, so there was loads of things that we're gonna have mining by this bit, and we're gonna have trading by this part, and we had lots of things. Then obviously a shit ton of that's been delayed. We haven't got anywhere near any of that stuff at the time that they said we were going to get it. So I suppose my question is, like, people moan about delays. Like, we know in game development there's going to be delays. You can't always hit every target. So do you think, like, they're missing, say that they didn't release this PTO on the 10th, even though he said he would, like, is that as bad as missing the delay that's like years out? Or is it just like, because some people go mental, like, you know, they're talking about even, oh, you promised us this and you broke a promise, whereas it's like, well, look, if it's not ready, it's not freaking ready.
I mean, it's all personal to each of us, isn't it? I personally don't mind if they miss the deadline just to get the patch solid and released.
I understand. Yeah, I understand not everything neatly falls in your quarter release schedule, but I don't want to repeat. If you want to talk about where the line is, like 2017, let's go back to 3.0. That was way too long of a delay in between patches. And I go off my experience for other early access crowdfunded games on Steam and whatnot. You know you're in trouble when two things happen: the dev team goes radio silent, and the delay between patches gets excessive. You know your project's probably going to die. It's really heading down to the guys. So I do not want to see another 2017. And really, it's kind of Chris Roberts is cooking his own goose here. He's getting up on stage, he's promising stuff, and then he's going to talk to people afterwards where they're like, okay, now we have to uphold your promise for the Squadron 42 roadmap. We have to uphold your promise to having a gameplay demonstration for Squadron 42. Yeah. We're not quite ready for this stuff because we didn't realize you were going to do it until you said it in public. Because I'm assuming that's what he's doing. He's like, well, I think it's ready. It does seem like that. Yeah. I'll just promise it because we should be ready by now. And then finally all the lead developers get ahead and they're like, well, we didn't realize you were going to do this. So we got this, and this, and we got 6 months more worth of work before you could even show Squadron 42.
I think it's more like it's not even that he thinks it's ready. I think it is a case of he thinks he should be ready. This should be ready by this month, so we're going to go with that. But I think it's more, I suppose maybe people have been burnt because of like that big drought of nothing. Maybe that's what's made people a bit worse. But like, this year's been quite good. They've said that they're going to have their releases when they've had them, and we've had them released on time. Now, this October release, okay, it's not a quarterly one, but they did say quite a while back that we're going to change that because it falls in line with CitizenCon. And like, people are going, oh, it's already a delay. But is it a delay if you say further enough in advance that actually we're changing our mind? It's better to do the release at this point than it is. That's not, to me, that's not a delay. That's just like saying, well, we're just going to change. So it's not going to be quarterly. We're just going to relax four patches a year, and it's going to be these times rather than quarterly.
Yeah, instead of doing like the feature releases where it's like we're gonna have release planets. That's the next patch. We're gonna work hard to get planets. And that's kind of what happened with 3.0. They were like, we're gonna have this big feature drop on there, and when all these things are ready, we're gonna release the patch. And well, unfortunately, we had to wait several months for that to happen. I much more appreciate two things: the roadmap, which is great. I can't applaud that enough. Now we kind of no surprises, but hey, at least what's coming up and what they're working on, even if it has massive reshuffles from time to time. And two, the quarter releases that they've been holding themselves to. And it looks like even though this next one's even though this next one coming up has been delayed a little bit, it's still within my comfort zone. I'm still like, okay, so they're still talking about what's going on, when it's going to get released. We know a rough timeline, and if it slips a couple weeks, well, we still know around this time we should have it. So I much appreciate CIG for doing that to us.
But that's why
it's fans and backers.
It's just being more open about it. It's that showing us exactly what they're trying to do and then being open when it slips, instead of like 3.0 saying we're going to get this and then fucking it just going out the window. Having that understanding between the backers and the devs is important, and I think that quashes a lot of speculation first and foremost, which doesn't allow people to run off with the wrong idea. But yeah, the roadmap, the quarterly releases have really soothed how it works, and they did say that the middle patches or quarterly releases are going to be the big ones. And if this wasn't an object container streaming build and it was just more content, then I would be more worried as to why it's taking so long. But because it's core tech, you can kind of give it more of a leeway and say, okay, if it takes a couple of weeks, hopefully not as long for Hurston and so forth, but you can give it a little leeway there. I think I feel that way anyway.
I think
Go.
You go.
And even with the huge reshuffle we had recently, I don't know if everyone remembers that we had I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago where we had one production schedule and they accidentally uploaded the wrong one. They're like, no, we're gonna. Then they had to wait a couple weeks and then we got a new one that was just completely different. Like suddenly all the gameplay stuff, the refueling, the scavenging, the mining got moved out and they had more AI stuff get bumped up. So even with that stuff, it's just like, well, they shifted priorities and they're very open about their priority shifts. So it didn't surprise me, upset some people, but it didn't surprise me all that much.
They also always say that things may shift. It's a case of this is what they're aiming to do. Things may get pushed back. Some things may come forwards, and every patch that they release, they always do a reshuffle and a reassess of what is coming next patch. And things like the mechanics and the gameplay stuff, I'm okay if that gets shifted around. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually more happy to get things like AI than I am gameplay mechanics like salvaging, because it gives us that more interaction thing.
I'm something I was going to talk about a bit later, but I in mind with that was one of the things I would like, and also the mechanics and the AI are more of what I'm interested in than say maybe the extra planets and the extra things to adventure on at the moment, because it's like if you filled that out, what we've got, the smaller space, and filled that out and made that more livable. And it's slightly going off on a tangent, but the AI thing is kind of is what is needed for Squadron 42 as well. And if you're thinking how far you want Squadron 42 to be along, you need that believable and that living AI to be around. That tech needs to be in there, so it makes sense that they're concentrating on that. Probably along with the flight mechanics, are probably like two very high things that are needed for Squadron 42. Really,
that's true, and a lot of what we do get is dictated by Squadron 42. So we just need the roadmap for it, don't we? That would be nice.
Well, you can already look at the Star Citizen roadmap, and you can kind of extrapolate what they need for Squadron 42.
That's
true. The flight mechanics, the AI, most of the stuff for 3.3 looks like it's going to be useful in Squadron 42. OCS is definitely needed for Squadron 42 for lowering those system requirements. There's going to be so much fidelity in Squadron 42. You can't require that everybody have 32 gigabytes of DDR4.
No,
16 seems more common.
Yeah, yes and no. When he first pitched the game, he did say, I'm going to be making a game that's going to push hardware to its limit. So you shouldn't, at the same time, you shouldn't want to rock up to a game and think I can play this on a potato. You should be expecting to play it on a decent computer.
The very low end seems to be about 8 gigabytes of RAM. I think most average seems about 16.
The new average is 16, isn't it? And that I'm thinking this new OCS should allow people with 16 to get a decent frame rate. I don't know how much, if it's more akin to RAM over anything else in terms of hardware. Is this? I think it is object-oriented streaming because it is about culling out things and reducing the amount of CPU needed. People with lower RAM should see better performance, but going from 8 to 16 or even 8 to 12 is still super advisable, not just for Star Citizen, but in the long run of games anyway, because it's just a new standard, isn't it, now?
The standards always increase. I think half the problem is RAM at the moment is like extremely expensive as well.
That's true.
It's going up so high that people, even if they wanted to upgrade, it costs a bloody fortune.
But you can sell a kidney. We've all got two, and you don't.
That's true.
Necessarily.
Well, we haven't all got two. Some may have already sold one to just back the game in the first place. I need this ship. We need to donate a kidney.
Yeah, we need the ship. Donate some plasma, some kidneys.
Well, you can get at least about $262,000 for a kidney. So that should really set you up well for a PC. Even the Legantus ship package, you could literally get a gaming PC and the Legantus and be set for Star Citizen, and you'll still have a kidney left. So I'm off to get a beer.
And like someone else said, if you've got kids, they've got a couple of kidneys.
Yeah,
as
make
well.
sure this is 18 rated first.
Yeah, make sure
it's all good. So this is something we've talked about before, and this, again, going kind of back to the patch release and that, it's like in the NDA, and like because they seem to want to put this front on and show everybody that even though it's alpha, that the game's really smooth and working great, which we know most of the time when it's released, each patch is not. Even the patch we got now is not running that smoothly. But they seem to be obsessed to try and show that off. And you'd think that in some ways, like, if they released the NDA on the Evocati, if people could see how bad, because this is what it was like before Evocati. I remember watching WTF and people like that were streaming, and they were like spent the whole time just trying to log in, crash, log in, crash. And so everybody was looking at it going, well, there's no way I'm doing that. And they understood that that's why that build wasn't ready. And if you could see some of the Evocati bugs and issues that were happening, maybe people would understand more and say, well, there's no point releasing it to further PTU because there's no way I'm playing it even if it comes out. And I think we seem to have lost that since the Evocati thing. So now people are just like, why isn't it out? Why isn't it out? Why isn't it ready? Why isn't it out on the day you said it's going to be out?
Yeah. Oh, man. It's just...
Thanks for Forbidden Tech.
Yes. I just want to see the days where the Evocati just goes away. Like, we don't need the Evocati to test broken, buggy builds, but that's going to be more towards beta. We'll know we'll be close to beta when the Evocati start being needed less and less.
I do think they're needed. They are needed for what they do. They're just not... The NDA isn't needed because, like I said, the problem they were getting was the bug reports. That's what they've always said. It's just too many bug reports without any specific... without people reading the thing. So having a closed group that was testing properly rather than those that just want to jump on and play. Let's face it, everyone that wants it to go on PTU tomorrow don't want it so that they can test the bugs. They want it so they can play the next build. That's all everybody's interested in. And yeah, so there's no point having them bug reporting. And generally, when they open it, go on.
Sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say, when they open it up to the wider PTU, it's literally just a stress test. It's to send more people on it. That's the only reason they do it.
But also, don't forget that if the main community, the main core of the community, know what the bug reports are for, we know what the Evocati is for. If people are seeing the early days of Evocati builds and they release them to non-NDA, basically took the NDA away and people saw them, not that it really should matter, but it does. People, the outside world, seeing the early builds of Star Citizen just looking like a mess, it's just going to add fuel to the flames. And I feel like having that to a point where it's not just crashing every 2 minutes is a good idea, or just getting it to a point that is presentable to the rest of the world, because people are paying attention to it,
That's what I'm saying. The opposite. I feel like that's what we don't need. But it's difficult because I suppose the people that are looking from the outside world, they probably want to see it all working and flowing lovely. Those that are actually going to play the game, those that are backing and are actually watching the game more closely, want to know why they haven't got the latest build yet. And that's what I was just saying when you went to get a beer, is that when we were watching before Evocati, we had people like WTF and Captain Flint and Twerk and all that playing, and you could see them like log in over and over and over again, trying to get in the game. And then we would look at it and go, that's just not ready for me yet. There's no way I'm going to play this build. And we don't get that anymore, so we just don't actually get that information. And we're sitting there going, well, why can't I play it yet? Why isn't it? They're just keeping it for themselves, and it's not why. But anyway, that's such. I think having it a bit more open. I think we should worry less about the public face. And just show it as it is, its development. If people that don't get
how it's being developed, isn't it? Is publicly, so they should see. I mean, I'm up for that, and I really wish that was the case. But I understand the reasoning why they do it.
I don't think it works anyway.
Scared.
I mean, I've seen on Facebook, you get the people post the articles from like PC Gamer and stuff, and it fluctuates like anything. It's 1 week they're slagging the fuck out of it, the next week they're praising it, the next week this hiding it is not making any difference. It's not stopping the game magazine slagging the shit out of it, because slagging the crap out of the game sells it's clickbait, and we all know clickbait is what sells, so that's why they do it. So that people come and click their website. So they're going to do it anyway. Even if you had like a perfect build, they'd still, like say OCS, they'd probably still find something else to pick at, because it'll be a nice headline for them. So
we've had this discussion before, back in like 08.08, when that was released.
2008.
2012, 2014, or whenever the first Hangar module was released, Alpha something or Alpha 0.08 or something. That stuff used to crash all the time. Even just a static hangar, looking at a ship just sitting there, you'd crash out. And a lot of the backers would complain about that. And Chris Roberts pretty much promised us that no, we'll play it closer to the vest, and we'll release a game. We'll release something you can play for a significant amount of time, at least 30, 40 minutes before crashes and that kind of stuff. So they tend to play it more conservatively ever since then. Then 3.0 was released. Yes.
Oh, dear. So anyway, we'll move on from that, I think, unless anyone else has got any questions or anything they want to ask on that. !question or question mark in chat, and you can fill out the form. If you want to ask questions in chat, we'll try and pick them up as well. But otherwise, if you want to make sure that we see your question, then just fill out the form and we'll read it from there. So some other things that we've got. So the digital ticket, I was kind of away when this came out and they said that you had to pay for the stream and everything else, so I wasn't 100% aware of what was going on. I believe they kind of backtracked on that, but you can still buy the digital goods. Has either of you got them?
The digital goods get you basically the duster, like a long overcoat, the knife and the trophy that they'll be creating on the day live on stream.
They used to have a duster in the game. I haven't been able to find it.
I was going to say, I thought there was a duster.
I think if you go down to the Grand Barter on Levski, there's still a long black coat there, isn't there?
Nope. Not anymore. The space it occupies is gone.
Because they're making one that you have to pay for.
They removed it to make it better.
Yes. You got to spend $10.
That's EA shit, that is.
Oh, man.
We have
I wonder if it's... I think it's somewhere else in there, but I can't quite. I haven't found it yet. I've been looking for it. I think I was thinking maybe they took it out because they were going to update it or something. They need because they have one duster in there already. And they're like, well, we need to make more than one duster.
Seriously, they're taking it out. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So I think they have taken it out, but I think they're making a commemorative one, and they have to kind of differentiate the two. So they took it out temporarily because they have to split it or something or do something.
Wouldn't it be cool if we got one of those Vandal knives that they were showing us that have been made from like UEE? Because like the Vandal get all sorts of random salvage and make them themselves. Oh, they're saying that they're designing it themselves on the stream, aren't they? That's part of that's one of the
knife as
streams. Well? Yeah, it said the weapon and the trophy. So I think I think it did say knife and trophy, which
look.
Basically the people either there
trophy
or
not trophy, and you call that a knife? Yeah. Trophy and a weapon, so both, yeah. So I was just reading
not the
it
duster.
Off the thing.
The duster is still the one that was in there originally.
So have we seen? That was actually going to be my question: is have we seen any pictures of any of it? But I guess if they're designing the two, we definitely haven't seen those. So we haven't seen the duster either. Okay, they're probably just going to take the one that was in there and just print 2948 on the back, just in big numbers.
Special things on it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so because I wasn't sure, like. It's like buying something. Is it going to be on sale a long time afterwards, or are they going to remove it as soon as CitizenCon's finished?
I don't know. I don't think anything's been said. I would have thought they would keep it on until the day and then remove it, but never considered them keeping it going.
Because if you haven't seen what it looks like, it's like buying blind as always. I suppose that's.
But it's like I really like this idea because when we went to CitizenCon 2017 and they gave us the option of which weapon to choose, which weapon skin, and we were like both. I actually thought it was just a skin. I didn't think they were giving us two weapons, but I guess it's the same thing as that. So the people that didn't attend CitizenCon in Frankfurt could have got access to those two weapons if they had a digital ticket then. I know it was off the back end of Chris's elaborate idea of making us pay for watching the stream, but ultimately it's actually turned out all right that we get the, because I really like those digital bits. So I'm happy I can, and to me, it's like $10 is worth it just to get those fucking a fake jacket and knife and shit. But
yeah,
I'd like
you
to see
$10 so I can have it after I kill you. That's great for me.
It's
just like I'll take that jacket
from me.
Take that knife. Oh,
you're gonna have some holes. Vertigo, why is your duster all full of holes?
Okay, I will never wear it outside of my hanger. It's
just inside your hanger.
Safe zones is where I'm leaving it on.
Armistice zones only.
Yeah.
How do you get concierge status when you're not in concierge? It's easy. You kill someone who's in concierge. And you wear their flight suit.
You take his eyeball. To the bar.
The monocle, the hat.
What was that in? Wasn't that Demolition Man where he popped out some guy's eyeball to get past the retina?
I think it was Demolition Man. Yeah.
Minority Report, didn't they do it in that?
Oh yeah, Minority Report had the eyeball thing too.
Yeah.
Then he ate that sandwich. Ooh, nasty.
There you go.
Drink that milk. Tasty. There's nothing worse than that. Yeah, you could. You don't have to kill someone. You could just take their eye. That's fine.
Yeah, they get cybernetics. Just a little pain and suffering. I just get your bank account balance. This would be an interesting piracy angle. I went through the Orion. You went to the Orion system recently. How could you tell? You're missing. You got a cybernetic implant. I'll have to see the insurance policy on that. You get 3 cybernetic replacements a year.
LTI on your eyeballs.
LTI on your eyeballs.
Dear God. Someone said that, what was it? Oh, you said about we took Max stream today. He was talking about the tram system, and he said, "Oh, will we have to buy a ticket to get on the tram? Like, will it cost money to get on the tram?" And then he starts going, "Or can we have an LTI tram ticket?" It's like, "Oh, for God's sake!" Is there anything?
Someone kills you and it takes it. Get it. But that actually, we had Christian from CIG in, and he was talking about. He was actually testing the tram system as he was watching the stream, just to make sure it works. He says one of the bugs which is fixed now is it came to a sudden stop rather than slowed down slowly. But he also said it was 120 meters a second, which is, I think someone worked it out, 230 odd miles an hour, which is just, everyone was like, that's way too fast. So he says it's just the tier 0 of the tram system. Let's not hate on the potential speed of how fast a tram is going to go. But
120 meters per second or something. It comes to a stop instantaneously. How many G-force is that? Well, you're dead.
It's just the whole tram squished up the front.
Does that mean that it's that big? It takes that long for the tram to get from one point to the next?
That's the thing. It's all right saying that's too fast, but then you don't know where it's going and how
everybody's
far
asking, is it too fast? And I'm thinking, how can I make it malfunction to kill people? Like,
he's literally just arrived as well.
I just want to get it to derail so I can kill people and take their stuff.
Oh, it just didn't stop in time.
Can we tie people to the monorail? And I got the Snidely Whiplash top hat. I could get the mustache and the character creator. I could play, from Dudley Do Right, Snidely Whiplash, and we can tie. Females are coming. Nobody clicked that.
Wow, that just went way the wrong way.
A real gentleman lets the lady come first.
You literally instantly realized what you'd said and stopped, which made it 10 times worse because it was just a statement worthy of clipping yourself. Get it done.
So I mean, like it's 3-4 playable female models are coming. So you think we'd be able to tie them to the tram tracks?
Why just females? Why are you wanting to tie specifically females to the tram tracks?
Because that's how it's done. That was how it was done back in the day. You would tie up the females to the railroad tracks, and then step 3, profit.
Is your education Red Dead Redemption 1?
No, it's the Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
Oh my God!
Because men didn't get tied up because they were too busy tying up all the women.
Men only get tied up in gangster shows when he's like trying to rob something. It's like you get tied up and sit in front of the train.
We must have hit that 10% already, surely. We've been talking.
Yeah.
We're allowed to digress.
We're allowed to talk about something else now.
Christian says we're delaying female characters indefinitely. No, we're gonna set Vertigo in his own little instance. It's gonna be nothing but a sausage party forever for you, Vertigo. No females for Vertigo.
You only ever see the male avatar.
Male avatars.
Unless you buy the special $10 goggles that you put on that turn people into females.
Goggles. Available at your local bar.
They turn into females. But
I don't know. Every time I go drinking with my friends, I always go home with the good-looking gals, but I always wake up next to her ugly roommate. No, don't wake her up. Don't wake her up. I'll just gnaw my arm off.
Just hide the train tracks. Only way to hide the evidence.
Oh well. So I mean, so talking of the tram, I don't know. We just diverge everywhere, but like. Do you know, we know that in some places you're going to have to fly in on rails so that you don't crash into all the buildings and stuff. Like,
wait, are trams going to be a thing now? Are we selling trams to people?
Trams are going to be a thing in the game. No,
rails
trams
to
are
space.
Yeah, trams are in.
Trams up to space, but trams are in. But like, can we crash
Christian,
into the trams?
Is this feasible?
Can we crash into the trams?
Are we over-promising for Christian now?
What? No,
He's like, I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just kept it to myself.
to land with the tram in space. You just imagine it going up and then the rail finishes and it just keeps going and going. It's like, oh, there we go.
I'm actually looking forward to that. Like the tram just gets off the rails and just goes into orbit. Just okay. Apparently, choo-choo, we're going to yellow.
My people need me.
It'd be like at Gamescom demo when it just went flying through from one planet to another. Just like
Yes.
What I would
That's
like
why
to
it
know,
goes
though,
on.
I don't think Christian answered, but he can answer now if he would like to.
Probably
We've seen a
not.
monorail and we've seen the underground. Is it one system that goes up and down, like sort of New York, or is it a system that is specifically underground and a separate overground system? Christian?
Yeah, we'll all just sit here and wait for the answer.
Yeah, we'll wait for Christian.
Yeah, so
Question.
I want to know. I want to know if we
Christian, you're holding
can
up-
we
yeah.
smash it? Can we make it break? Because like we can't. By the sounds of it, we're not going to be able to break into any of the buildings or anything. So can we smash the tram up?
And
Can you
is
sm-
the glass on the tram scratched? Or is it see-through?
I thought we had that question.
I thought we had that question already.
Yeah, is it scratched?
Can I actually look through the tram glass?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like, will the tram system? Because I know the Grey Cat. Believe it or not, the Grey Cat buggy has a power plant in it. It has like the little tiny
Oh.
dragonfly power plant in it.
Yeah.
That
the Grey
needs a
Cat. Well,
revamp, doesn't it? Like crazy
Yeah.
as the buggy. I hope that we can actually buy like you've seen on the Phoenix. You know the original Phoenix model in the fish tank. I hope they keep shit like that in game.
Oh,
so
I
that
love that. I
those
love that
veterans,
thing, yeah.
those veterans like you
Mm.
guys can all see
Like the
this.
old, yeah.
I
Well,
really
you
like
know,
that
That's
little
the old
touch.
Grey Cat. Look at it. It's a fucking mess, but we love it. Don't
Like
worry.
the, we
Oh,
still
but
have
they-
posters with like the old Cutlass and the old.
What they could do with the
Hornet.
That's
the
true,
old
yeah.
Grey Cats, they could put them in like a circus and like in a bumper car thing. So that's the only way you can use them in the old bumper cars, just to play with the old Grey Cats.
Or a Destruction Derby style game.
Yeah.
In an asteroid.
Why not? It's I don't know. It's
Still
I think
Star
with
Citizen, so we get it.
with the old ships, it would be quite nice if some of those like the wrecks that you find on the planets and things would be the old models as well. Because
Yeah,
you know,
true.
that would be kind of cool to see. Keep them in, but I don't know whether they will or not. Because it sounded like he had to hunt for that old Phoenix model to sort of stick it in the fish tank. But I think
Yeah.
it would be a nice thing to put for those back early to sort of see some of the old designs and go, oh my
Nod and
god,
a wink.
can't
Definitely.
believe we flew that fucking thing.
Yeah. Why do we put up with these models like the old freelancers?
Oh god.
Like they just look
It's-
awful
it's
now.
so-
But back then we fucking loved it.
When you first saw it, and when we first got just the hangar, it was you looked at these ships and I was like, these are freaking amazing, and the same with the freelancer,
Yeah.
it's just absolutely amazing. And you go inside it, oh wow, it's got all flashy buttons and everything else. And now you look at it, it's like, shit, what game is this from?
Yeah.
Wasn't this to me, it doesn't even look like that's how it looked like. You look at it and thinking, no, it was never this bad. They've gone back and made it look worse to make the new
Like
ones look
the
better.
original Kickstarter sort of what is Star Citizen video with Chris
Hmm.
on the Bengal, like actually superimposed in the or whatever he was doing. And that dog, that I don't know if you people
Rippy dog.
realize
That dog's
this.
passed away.
That dog is the reason we are getting pets in Star
yes.
Citizen. He is the there's a dog in the original trailer.
What was
and
the
because he
dog?
passed
Preston,
away-
I think.
Oh, Hurst. What the name of the dog?
Yeah, the name of the dog was like Preston or something.
Oh, I don't remember.
I have to go watch it now.
No, I'm sure. Surely it'll be on the notes.
Somewhere.
I'll find it. You carry on.
Yes, carry on. Miserable. You got this.
So, right, we were talking somewhere at some point about cybernetics. So let's go off onto that tangent and we'll talk about that, shall we? So we got a little clip from ATV. Let's put that up so people can, if they haven't seen
Paddington.
it, see it.
Paddington. It started with a B.
No, that's a bear.
Also a dog. Okay. Who's dead now, so don't talk shit about him.
I
Yeah,
didn't talk shit about it.
and it's Chris Roberts' dog. So don't talk.
Was
shit
that
about him.
actually Cia's dog?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh. He's gained so much
you,
since.
you
though.
just killed the moment now. That's it.
So this is cool. I like these legs.
So this is cool. So this
Also,
is
the
the
heel.
first.
It steps on a heel that doesn't exist.
Hmm.
If you watch
Well-
the when it puts the weights down, the heel's now there.
Yeah, people really hate that, don't they?
I just tell it's got a micro shield generator in the heel, so you don't have to replace heels.
She should have a limp though, surely. She would have a Batagla. But what I like about it is, like, we had a discussion about this when I think it was Friday, and people were saying if this is what artificial limbs look like 700, 900 years in the future, it's terrible. But really, that's like Bataglia is a salvage. She has salvage missions on the good side of the world. So she's probably fashioned this herself. This isn't something you can go to a Terra and go to the top doctors and say, "Can I have this leg, please?" They'll probably have more proper prosthetics than this. But
This
if you
is
go
like,
to
like I don't know what they have in the UK, but in America we have something called rat rotting. I don't know if you've heard of that term, but you essentially take scrap and you make a street rod out of it, a car out of it.
Oh yeah, like a hot rod. Sort of.
Yeah. You make it. It's the ugliest fucking thing you can make.
We have like scrap heap challenge.
Yeah. Like
that was good.
And that's what I kind of assume that this is. It's like she made this leg out of scrap, and it's something she made, and that's why it looks the way. Because she's like, I don't need no doctor to make no prosthetic. I don't need to go to a top end medical clinic to make a leg.
She's more like a Ripperdoc.
Yeah.
From Cyberpunk.
Yeah, so she's more than capable of making it herself. She's got the expertise and the knowledge, and she's just like, she's proud of what she's made. That kind of thing.
And she didn't limp, which is perfect.
She can balance it, so she's even put an invisible heel in, so she doesn't have to limp. It's fine.
Magic.
But
it's fine.
It's like with this, like, do you know we said that when you get the doctors, you're going to have different tiers of things that can in the ships. They said that different types of medic thing. Do you think would that affect the type of cybernetic you can get? Would you?
I would say
if your doctor's not very good, or you get like a basic one, you can get.
I would think you could go to somewhere like you could go to Terra and get like the top of the range. You pay a high premium if you've lost a limb. Like they've spoken about, if you lose a limb, you can get a prosthetic leg or arm. I think you can get the top of the range, or you can go to somewhere like Levski and go to like the Ripperdoc, like we saw in Cyberpunk, and get a cheaper one, which with less features, but it kind of looks cool. So people will have the option. I'd like to think so. Nothing's confirmed, obviously, but the idea of having different grades of aesthetic and ability, like maybe you can get an arm with a hook, which obviously, as Captain Hook, what else would you want on an arm if your name was Captain Hook?
Probably, I'm gonna go out on a limb.
A screwdriver?
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Yeah.
And say, if my name was Captain Hook, I'd like to have a shotgun in my arm. That would surprise them.
You want a spoon so you can eat shit?
No, I would have.
No one expects you to slap them with a spoon. A shotgun, they know you're going to shoot them. If you have a spoon,
like I'm Captain Hook, right? And then bang, like you're like,
you have your arms behind your back, and you say, "Yeah, what's your name?" "Oh, Captain Hook." Okay, and then a shotgun comes out. It's like, I was expecting
shoot
a
yourself
hook.
in the ass because you pressed the wrong button.
Yeah. Every time you try to wipe, it's like life or death.
Oh yeah. Well, even with a hook, it's pretty much life or death. That is probably worse.
I bet they have. Do you know when your finger goes through the toilet roll? When your finger goes through the toilet roll with the hook, it's got to be terrible. It's just straight through.
You just put the whole roll on the hook, and it's just for safety reasons. Just wipe the whole roll. You go through a lot.
Oh, Jesus! Wow, that really went. Wow, we'll just let that sink in. We'll let that sink into
Disney
people for a little while.
Create the lore, aren't we? Let's be fair.
Disney create the lore.
Yeah, they haven't really thought about that far ahead, have they? Or maybe just use his other hand. I would have thought he just used his left hand.
Yeah, just use his left hand.
So obvious now when you think about it.
Not if he needs to. Mac would be the person that would have a hook as a hand and keep going, "I don't get how this works." He goes, "Other hand,
challenge accepted."
It's all about the principle now. Like, I know I could use my other hand, but now I gotta prove it can be done.
As long as you don't use the same one to pick your nose afterwards. It's like Egyptian style. Pull your brain. Pull the brains out. It's like, great.
Gentlemen, what are we doing so far on this 10% of Star Citizen conversation?
This is still Star Citizen, isn't it?
Got to be.
So,
kind of went from there to there.
kind of went to the gutter here.
I lost my track where I was going on with the cybernetics.
Let me take over because there were talks. Someone asked about whether this is going to be something we see in the Titan armor, which I don't think it is. I think the Titan suit is.
This is the Titan armor. You got to cut a leg off so you can put the Titan armor on.
Yeah, the Titan armor.
How much does it cost? About an arm and a leg. There you go.
But they did like. Whether I would like to think we would see a Titan suit or whatever it's called soon. TM, because they did have like an actual in-game version of it, but they said it was too big, and when you're carrying a size 1 weapon and walking down the corridors of these ships, you can't turn around. So they had to go back to the drawing board. But I believe the people working on it had to sort of take a step off, and I'm sure they would have had to for like 3.3 or whatnot. But they can't be that far away. This obviously isn't it, because it's supposed to go around your you wear it. It's not something that you replace.
It's a walking tank essentially. You climb into it. We did see a while ago concept images for the Titan armor, and it had it looked like you just climbed into the thing. Had kind of like how the Fallout 4 power armor worked. You know, it opened up, you climbed into it, and it closed up around you. That was how the Titan armor looked.
I would love to see like future more industrial versions of it, not for combat, but for other things like.
Well, that's one thing I was going to say with this whole cybernetic leg, and seeing that this is one that's more made of scrap. And I see the argument come up a lot in terms of this is supposed to be 1,000 years in the future, or in the future, and it's like
close enough.
Like, should the technology move on further? Like, do you expect more? Like Fallout, where you've got some retro stuff in there, or do you think we should have a range of everything? So from retro stuff like scrap limbs to very high tech stuff as well.
I think they want to create a universe that we can relate to, and if they put futuristic stuff that is unrelatable from our own experiences, they need to make sure that we can feel like it's a world that we can believe. But then it does beg the question: why not make things? Like, I'm expecting when we see alien things to be like
the genre
way
stuff
out there. Yeah, like the ecosystems and the outfits and stuff. But when it comes to our own world, we need to be able to see it as believable. Obviously, Battaglia could have gone somewhere and got like a 900 years in the future super leg where she could probably jump like a flea over buildings and whatnot. But she decided to make it herself. So I think there'll be a mixture of two.
Kind of like Deus Ex style, I think, is kind of.
Well, I was thinking
the
more like
grungy future.
If we're 900 years in the future, why don't we just go full Ghost in the Shell and do prosthetic bodies? Just scoop your brain out with an ice cream scoop, shove you into a mechanical body, and there, Bob's your uncle. You don't need a prosthetic leg anymore.
That's like that would ruin most of what Star Citizen's about. We still need to be able to do that, the human things, So Star Citizen's not about exploring what it means to be human in a world where humans can replace their bodies at will and we can change your form. That's not what Star Citizen's about. That's more of a cyberpunk thing where they're talking about, what is it like to be, live in a world where your body doesn't mean anything. Yeah. If you were born with a disability, a physical disability, it doesn't matter. As long as your brain's in good condition, we can just shove you into a cybernetic body. Yeah.
Star Citizen wants to be, I don't think realistic. I think intuitive or relatable would be the word we're looking for here.
Yes,
we have to be able to relate it to our modern day. We can't. There's a certain level. You go back and watch the old Aliens movies. The Aliens Alien movie was made back in when you had CRT monitors. They had to make the future look. Yeah, you had to make the future look relatable to the present time, and that's what we're kind of going for here. You can't really explore the future too much, otherwise you start getting too alien or too alien of concepts.
Yeah,
Chris Roberts kind of went. Yeah,
best word for it. Yeah,
I think the difficulty with going too far is you have to make everything that way then, because you would say, why would it be like people are saying now, why would you have a leg look like that when you can have it, like you said, a whole new body and things like that. So I think you'd have that difficulty. You either go whole hog or you have to, like you said, make it more relatable. Although I don't think you can really have too much of a mixture of the two, because unless the only way to have a mixture of the two would be like having it in terms of how rich people are. So if you've got more money, you can afford the higher tech and the more futuristic stuff.
Oh God, I see a Nadia Sharks here, and I hate to say it, but Jean prosthetics.
Don't talk about Jean.
Jean stuff. I know Jean prosthetics. I'm never going to hear the end of it.
What
No,
about
every time
Jean
I
salvage ship? Not
Jean
gonna happen.
salvage ships, Jean racing crafts, Jean prosthetics.
They've already said they're not going to make them.
Yeah.
Well, they might do a prosthetic for Jean. Might be just like a human's leg. Just attach that instead.
They cut off someone's leg and it's still they put like devices in it to keep it alive and they sew it back onto you. Like they're good.
Wouldn't that be more realistic though? Like they wouldn't have a fake looking leg. They would have someone else's and like an actual real leg that they can transplant. Has anyone tried that already? Wasn't there someone supposed to, like someone in a wheelchair supposed to be getting
We're
transplanted?
translating skin and ears and things.
I don't know.
I'm not sure we're quite at legs and arms.
Couldn't I get like bat ears on me?
You want to?
Maybe like kangaroo legs, so I could get to the shops quicker, or like an eagle's wings. So like, imagine getting. Anyway, let's just fucking get.
So
we're just going really weird. This is no longer Star Citizen content. We're just living Ryan's last dream.
Ryan's dream.
Yes, I'll never see it again.
I'm hopping out the window.
Hopping out the window.
But how easy do you think it would be for us to get this?
What do you mean?
I mean easy. I don't mean easy as in like, oh, I want to get a cybernetic leg, but like in terms of how
Taglia and steal a leg.
Yeah, how many deaths, or does it have to be does it just have to be one death that's really horrific, or would it be? Do you think it's going to be specific?
Can you have your buddy just use a shotgun on your kneecap and then you get?
Can you just get someone to cut your leg off? What do you think?
I think if it was that easy, people would be okay. In a controlled environment, basically like the hangar of a constellation.
Controlled environment.
Shoot my leg, blast it off. I want a prosthetic leg, but make sure you get me. Or even in an Endeavour, someone owns an Endeavour Hope. They'll in the actual medical room. They'll be like, "Okay, I'm ready."
you
Boom!
Fucking madness! Like they fucking have a gun rack next to the surgical implements. Okay, you can pick out like you need to pick out. Okay, what are you gonna use to detach? Well, but first we're gonna give you anesthetics, and then we're gonna use this to take your arm off.
Yeah, or a ripper saw. I don't know. Yeah, something along those like a double barrel shotgun, like from Lock, Stock. So yeah, I think it's going to be a case of if you're in some sort of incident where your leg was blown off, I'm pretty sure people will ask people to remove
I was just standing in the medical bay of my friend's Endeavour Hope, minding my own business, when my friend came at me with a shotgun and perfectly severed my leg right below the knee. And we just happened to have, officer, no, I don't want to press charges.
I'm quite content with this prosthetic leg that I've now received. Thank you so much. But yeah, God, maybe we have to purchase, if you own an Endeavour Hope, purchase prosthetic legs.
Medical shotguns, medical grade shotguns.
Yeah, comes with a Red Cross on it.
Wow.
Medical grade
seriously,
shotguns.
this is part of the medical team's equipment. You know, it's sterilized.
It's got buckshot laced with like anesthetics in it.
Instant removal, but no pain. Yeah,
no pain.
Do you think players are going to be able to put these cybernetics on, or do you think it's going to be restricted to like proper medical facilities?
For the very reason we were just talking about, probably medical facilities.
I would love to see the ability to unequip your prosthetic leg while you're still playing. Just write all yourself, take your leg off, open your modem glass out, unequip your prosthetic leg.
Yeah. Now you just flip over.
That would be cool though. If you could have different prosthetic legs, like different colours and that, and you just take it off and just replace it with a new one.
Customizing your prosthetic. Yeah, I would think so along those. The actual finite details, I have no idea, but something along those lines. Customizability, that's what Star Citizen's about. It
would be like you'd have like an S1 prosthetic leg and an S2 prosthetic leg, you know, for the difference between the guys and the gals.
When you're sort of like role playing and you want to look like you're down and out, festive. So you just put your shit leg on, and if you want to go and hang with the delegates.
Yeah, you don't wear your Christmas, you don't wear your Sunday best out to the
Sunday best leg.
Yeah, that's my shit leg. This is me good leg. I wear this to the pub every Sunday.
I wear that when I'm working in pits. That's me shit leg. But the Sunday best, tell you should see me in that in a suit. Christian actually said maybe about shooting medipens, and I think surely having some sort of like sniper rifle.
Well, we got a crossbow. No, we got a crossbow coming. We can have a medipen crossbow. just like in Team Fortress 2. They had a crossbow in Team Fortress 2 that shot healing darts at people.
It's a great idea. I think Christian's confirmed it, so he just...
Are we going to have healing lasers as well, so you can like laser guns and just heal people?
No, we'll have damaging lasers. They're the opposite.
That was something we saw a long time ago, didn't we? Well, when Ilphonic were working on the FPS, and they had like a laser weapon that was like and repairing people. Don't expect that though. Do you remember that?
Kind of like the opposite of a lightsaber.
Yeah,
not like a zoom, you're healed. It was more like
like knighting someone. You're healed.
Yeah. You're all healed. I'm healing everybody.
Miserable. Does that exist in Dungeons and Dragons? A healing stick? You hit someone to health. It's like you have a wand with like heal other or something.
We all know what stick that is. It's like a rhythm stick. I only get it out on special occasions.
My Sunday best wizard wad. You should see me.
Oh, nice one, Forbidden Take. Exactly. I've got an emote for that one. it's fine. Wow. Jesus, I don't even know where we're going. So
this is just a fucking train wreck, a tram wreck.
Tram wreck, yeah. 120 meters a second tram wreck.
Tram wreck. This is what it looks like.
So we were talking about prosthetics and whether or not characters can get them. I don't know. I think it'll change your character out. Because ideally your prosthetic would be like what's her name? Battaglia?
What was her name? Battaglia.
Battaglia. I think hers is going to be on the
pasta.
Yeah. Her leg looks like it's on the exterior, so the flight suit would go underneath the leg. The leg would clamp on over the flight suit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they want the players. They'd have to change the flight suit so that the prosthetic would
not another flight suit design.
Rework, yeah.
Rework in the flight
suit. Every single piece of clothing that they've ever created for the legs and the arms.
Well, no, they have it like pinned up or something, or yeah.
We have seen in some of the ATVs that the clothing is modular, isn't it? So they could probably
you could
get
cull
rid
stuff
of an
out,
arm.
but you'd have to cull the leg underneath out of the thing. So you'd have to at least remodel the physical stuff, the geometry.
Well, no, because the don't they already have that ability with the
it's
new
split up.
character model? They've got it into sections like gastrocnemiae. I don't know. Fucking thighs, torso, and all that. So they could potentially. I did GCSE PE, you know. So
yeah,
I'm sorry. What was that? That was just a bunch of acronyms. Was that English?
Yes, London grammar.
What does GCSE stand for?
Fuck no.
I knew it was good.
Fucking did it.
I preferred O levels, to be fair. Why can't they just go back to O levels? It was so much more simple. What do the O stand for?
I don't know. What do they stand for? I'm an American. We have grades like 1 through 12.
It must be somewhere in the scale of 1 to 12 in terms of whatever.
So legs. I don't know. I think they may just do leg-sized legs prosthetics, like not something this bulky for the character models, for player character models. They may do something because it has to fit into a starship. Battaglia probably doesn't have to get into a starship. That model. So is it going to clip through the starship models? You know, climbing into Aurora, you can see hideous clipping when your character's using the throttle pedals.
Leg-sized legs. Like quote of the day.
I heard that. I didn't want to say anything. I was thinking leg-sized legs. Why would you want anything else?
Look at it. It's like a fucking crane. It's like she's got a crane attached to her fucking leg.
It is kind of crane-like.
Drumstick legs.
It's bulky. It's just drumstick legs.
Oh dear.
If it's full though, that would be a bitch to carry around.
What do we think we're going to be able to get as prosthetics? Legs, arms, hands, feet?
Yeah, we should be able to get arms and legs easily. Maybe
eyes?
like cybernetic eyes, a faceplate of some kind, so you can roleplay like Kano from Mortal Kombat.
Christian's confirmed we're going to get cybernetic heads. So that's good.
Cybernetic faces.
Someone
he needs a second
screenshot
account to represent as an actual backer rather than a dev, because otherwise he's going to get himself into confirmed cybernetic heads,
reproductive organs. What else is left? I mean, that's most parts of
I think what you would expect is like eyes, arms, legs.
Probably not going to get like plates over the side of your face or something, you know.
That would
think we go that far. Like, you know, like
I wonder if it'll
so
be
Storm's got
more
like the
a case of-
rebreather and shit. Probably wouldn't get that, I suppose, because of the space helmets.
But what if, like, if you lost a life, an actual life, and you got to choose whether you go for a cybernetic limb or not? And maybe getting a cybernetic limb would grant you an extra life because they replaced it, or if you didn't, you would have bled out and died or whatever. So I guess this is something they'll have to approach when the time comes.
That's an interesting idea, though. So, like, yeah, you take a
wouldn't mind that.
cybernetic, or it counts towards one of your 9 cat lives.
I would assume. I think they talked about in Death of a Spaceman that you could actually pay a little extra, get a cybernetic limb, and then it doesn't count against your lives. So, but you can only do that so many times because 2 arms, 2 legs. I'm assuming it's just going to be legs and arms, and maybe something to do with the face too. If you get shot in the head,
Eye, then the second eye. It's like...
Something Calyx has pointed out is about the EMP as well, is that you can, although you can get these prosthetics, some of them will be like EMP, handheld EMP, FPS grenades, sort of EMP grenades, will affect your helmet. But yeah, sometimes they did say something about it affecting potentially fake limbs, but they're not all prosthetic limbs. Like modern day prosthetic limbs aren't electronically controlled, are they?
No.
Mm-hmm.
So
some use sensors that read in the nerve endings.
Well, her one looked more
if they
like it was
train.
hydraulics and shit rather than.
Well, you still have electronics that read
hydraulics
off
and
of
shit. That's just technical.
Technical.
Well, what powers the pump? Probably electric something.
So that potentially, if you do go for an all-out prosthetic body, having an EMP, you could be like, "Oh fuck, you guys go ahead. I'll give me about 30 seconds, and I'll be back."
You're screwed if you fly the Titan Warden.
You activate the EMP, and your character just pumps over. I mean, I'm just imagining the FOIP faces while your character, your full prosthetic character, 2 arms, 2 legs, gets hit with a distortion grenade in Star Marine or something. You're just frozen there. Just motherfucker.
I'm gonna fucking get you when I can move.
Well,
Okay,
talking about like the faces, about like death and stuff. When I was doing that facing, they'd said, "Show us a death face," and so you had to sort of pull this face that was apparently your dead face. I used that, which was a bad choice, but I expect they are getting that idea of a dead person. So if you're walking around somewhere and you see dead bodies, they will have specific death faces. There's something to think about. I'll leave you with
so
that.
when you die, if someone's trying to attack you, you could lay on the floor with FOIP technology. You could pull a face to make it look like you're dead, and they'd think you're dead. So you could just go.
Yes.
And they go,
I'd still put a bullet in your head anyways.
He's fucking dead.
Just to be sure.
So, I mean, if you're going to have a new limb for, like, each death, rather than taking it as a death, so instead of looking at someone and going, that's cool, you're going to go, shit, he dies a lot. Like, that guy dies a fucking lot.
It's like working at some place and one of your coworker pulls up and his car is just covered in scratches and he's missing one of the mirrors, his headlight, his one of his taillights is busted out. It's like, yeah, I'm not parking next to that guy. I'm parking it down the block.
Exactly. I mean, if that guy turns up and says, right, I want a job on your ship, you're gonna kind of go, maybe not. You know,
maybe not. Maybe no. Don't. No. We put the grenades in that box. You need to be away from the grenade box. You just we'll have you in the cargo hold with the not grenades over there. Guys, I'm just imagining. I would actually love to create a character like in Star Citizen that just has all the cybernetic limbs and just has a grenade bandolier. It's like, hey, let's go on an adventure. Let's go on an adventure.
Just a big looking for a group above his head. Looking
for groups, all cybernetic limbs, grenade bandolier. Let's go on an adventure.
You can trust me. I'm really good. How did you lose your limbs? Grenade accident.
Horrible grenade accident. You should see what happened to my crew. If this looks bad,
oh, that would be so bad. Oh dear God. Just like, I was checking a grenade and your hand just blows off. Right, there's another one.
Don't worry. You got a backpack of spare limbs on you too. You got like a hand hanging out, another cybernetic limb just hanging out your backpack. Why do you got a bunch of grenades? Got another limb? No. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's just in case this one falls off. It's the screws. They don't attach them right. You know, they gotta wear it in case I lose it on the battlefield.
That's the other thing. If you get shot in your cybernetic limb, is it going to count towards your health, or is it fine, just like armor?
It sparks, won't you? Like something we should mention is about the cloth tech. Is that on the to talk about thing?
It's on the monthly report, isn't it? If you want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
Do you have it at hand?
I'm running out of material. I'm running out of leg and arm material here. It's just like there's only so many.
Liar!
We've covered the cybernetics to death. Let me just get my joke book for leg and arm jokes. There's got to be some.
Oh,
more.
wait, is there amputee jokes in this thing? Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Amputee. If there is, I'll tell you one.
Character art. What was it? What did it come under?
I fucking can't remember. Tech art, quite towards the bottom, fourth one from the bottom.
Oh yeah. So the tech.
Read my stuff again.
Tech art continued on to the next gen cloth.
Don't read it pre-hand.
All following pipeline and tools. This will enable complex dynamic effects like friction, airlift, drag and collision softness plus stretch, compression and bend
sounds
stiffening.
like a fabric softener commercial. Improves
and
the
bend
softness and
stiffness on
stretch.
clothing and cloth materials. Nice.
Well, this is something Chris is really wanting to. He's said he wants to show off the cloth tech, which everyone was like,
Show off
"Yeah,
the cloth tech.
like,
We got capes.
Well, we've got the duster that they took out and then bring him back again that we have to pay for. So technically, that might be worth it.
Yeah, it might be.
But no, it sounds like it's going to have a reaction to things like the weather, like flapping in the wind, collision in terms of against people's legs, bodies, and whatnot, stretch, which fabric stretches. I don't think we've seen any games where fabric is super elaborate in terms. Like we saw a while ago on the initial release trailer or the initial trailer of Watch Dogs, where they had that. You know, Aiden goes out of the alleyway and you can see his coat flapping around. That looked kind of cool. But I mean, Chris is very excited for this. And it's hard for me to really build up something that I just like.
Okay,
what?
but they have been, or he has been pretty obsessed with the clothing and the flapping in the wind stuff for a long time.
Get that breeze on you.
but like when they were doing, because when we first said, can we have capes and everything else, I was like, oh, I don't think it'll work, because they seem to be very much against it clipping through shit. And so, first of all, it was all going to be part of just a scarf with a little bit hanging out the back.
Yeah.
Then they managed to update it, and we've had quite a lot of updates and quite a lot of videos on, oh, look how wonderfully this cloth moves now in the wind and things like that. So, I suppose a lot of games have capes and cloaks and coats, and most people don't care. Yeah. They clip, but they don't care. But they do clip. I don't think I've played a game where it looks,
don't they?
Yeah, where it actually looks really good. So I think it's kind of, it's almost like it feels like it's a personal goal to him to have clothing that looks absolutely believable when you're wearing and walking in it.
Well, that's his. He wants that fidelity, that intuitiveness. He wants everything to look.
You said the word. I was trying to do everything other than saying fidelity.
Everybody drink.
All right.
But no, that is true. He does. And to be honest, as much as a lot of people don't like the fact that he's a perfectionist about everything and wants everything to look pinpoint accurate, that's partly what I really like about this project. It's all the little finite details that he's going to put in to make this game feel more robust and look the level it is. So if this cloth tech actually looks cool, and reacts to bullets, because I think there was something else early on in the monthly report about it, bullets being...
Let me just saying cloth. I think they're saying cloth gets damaged by bullets and armor and stuff gets dented. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the day that someone gets sucked into a jet engine intake through their cape.
Did you ever see that on like the olden days video where someone got sucked into this plane and then into the end, and then later on they said like this bloke looking like a mummy covered in bandages. This is him. He's okay. Look, he's just damaged, and it's like clearly that guy died. And this is just an actor for propaganda that he was all right. There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, I was on an aircraft carrier. The guy got sucked in, and his helmet destroyed the jet engine. But
Yeah.
the intake on the engine necks down significantly. You can't fit a human through there, but his helmet got stuffed in there, and that's what destroyed the jet engine and really saved his life. Otherwise, it would have pulled him through. It would just liquefied him.
I just see this image of him afterwards, where he's just this person sat in a whole bandage. You can't see anything. I'm thinking
It's fine.
they've just wrapped this bloke up and said he's fine.
He's wrapped in bandages. He's got 4 prosthetics on each one. Will that be an outfit? Can I just be wrapped in bandages like I could be someone's mummy for Halloween.
Mummy.
Make it happen, Christian. I mean, playable female models are coming to a patch near you. Just recycle these jokes. Come on. What do you got for us? Come on.
We should write our own Star Citizen joke book.
I've been thinking about it.
The ha scam book.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yes. So it basically the cloth tech is getting updated some more. I presume we're going to be seeing that at CitizenCon. That would be something that
presume. Chris has been talking about it for the last
20 years.
But he's very excited about it.
Very excited.
So we're going to see lots of people in capes eventually.
And dusters, yeah. Well, we've got the nomad style clothing, which anything that flaps, people are excited about. I didn't think that through.
Yeah, playable female character models are coming.
They held, I mean, when you first got the scarves on the Raider stuff, it was like flapping like all over the face, and then you're slapping it in the face.
You sit down.
You sit down and you're everywhere.
I know, flap. Goes everywhere. You sit down in a ship, cape clips through the chair.
Yeah, it's all right about clothes clipping through people's bodies, but when you sit on a chair as a pilot, but that's what Chris said about the being able to sit in the pilot seat in a heavy armor, medium armor, other than a flight suit without it clipping through. The only reason why he doesn't want people to do that, and they're going to stop people from doing that, is because it will clip through and it'll look bad. Technically, you'll still be able to fly the ship and have it clipped, but everyone else looking at the pilot will be like, this looks awful. So that's why he's obviously decided to get rid of that idea. But I like that, because you wouldn't sit in a big, heavy armor suit and fly a ship.
Yeah,
I expect.
And I think they addressed it on ATV a long time ago, where they said when they made the chairs look normal for someone in a full suit of armor, if you had someone sit in the same chair not wearing armor, they looked like they were children.
Yeah,
when they were sitting in the chair.
Dad's car.
Yeah, like they had like one of the chairs in the Idris. They were like they made it to look. They made it to the person in heavy armor, and then they got the model out of the heavy armor, and they had him sit in the chair, and it looked like there was a child. The chair was like too big.
And I think it's a cool idea is that you would have your armor in a locker or somewhere, so that if you did have to transition into ground combat or whatever, you would go to the locker, you'd get the armor on, and then you'd move on.
And this creates a interesting disparity between some of the ships like the Cutlass and the Super Hornet. Like the Super Hornet, you can't wear heavy armor in it. So if you get into if you shoot someone down on a planet and they crash in there, and then you suddenly swoop in, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to collect my bounty, or I'm going to finish them off. Now you have an interesting scenario show up. Like you're in your flight suit, maybe you have a pistol. They've crash landed, maybe they're hurt, maybe they're not, but they're Cutlass. Maybe they have access to their locker and they have heavy armor now. Or medium armor, they have a real gun.
I would just hover and just unload. Gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. And yeah, armor will, at the moment, it's not really that effective. They haven't really, detailed out the...
Didn't they say it's about the same for everything, mostly? Like, I don't think it's making a huge difference at all, is it, the armor? At the moment?
No, not at the moment. I think it's something that is, like anything, the weapon damage per minute and whatnot, or per however long it's rated, it's all going to be balanced as they introduce new things anyway.
If you're shooting at someone for a minute, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Clearly you've got my aim. Damage per minute for me.
Not DPS per minute.
Yeah, DPM.
Just for Mac. Wow.
DPH.
So... what else are we looking at? So, okay, this is other thing. Do you want to? Is there anything more specific you said you wanted to go through on the monthly report? We can have a little look.
The AI is. We spoken a little bit about that.
The AI is a big thing, so let's talk about the AI a little bit, I suppose.
I suppose. It's like I'd rather not. Okay.
Well, no, it's because we haven't. They've said on like the monthly report that there's a lot of work going into it, but we haven't actually seen any of it so much. But I suppose, like we said earlier on, that the AI is definitely linked quite a lot to Squadron 42, at least in my opinion, because there was a point when they said, "Oh, Squadron 42 is going to be out by the end of the year." I can't remember when that was. It's like we haven't seen enough of the core stuff happening to even be close to being ready. So I think seeing some AI stuff would be. It'd be nice to see, because at the moment that's one of the things the world doesn't. Although they've started adding people, which was something we didn't have. They're getting better as they walk around and sit around and do nothing. They're looking a bit better, but we're still not there anywhere near there and looking at a sort of breathable living sort of atmosphere yet.
Yeah.
I did put something down.
Something they have spoken about in terms of AI. If I can just find it to help solidify my actual speech.
They did say there's going to be... we saw one of the ATVs where the ships were landing and taking off. So that's going to be one of the things we'll start seeing. So they said you won't see the AI get out of ship.
The automated takeoff. Yeah. It was just the ships. They were just landing and taking off just to kind of add some flavor to the world.
Yeah, and they did say that this is with getting... So basically the AI ship will come and land... No one will get out. It'll just stay there for 20 seconds or whatever, and then take off again and quantum travel away. Now, they say that this whole process of landing, taking off, and then quantum traveling is the first step into getting AI moving around the universe on their own will based on what they're supposed to be doing. So that is quite important. Obviously it's artificial. They're not going to get out. They're not actually delivering anything there. They're not getting out and roaming around. It's just for aesthetics. But that's a good start to it. They also said that they're creating something so that the AI consistently have something to do. So they're not going to be stood around doing nothing like we see at the moment, where they're all just sort of stood there looking. You walk into a room and everyone's facing the same direction. You're just going to be like, okay, let me just watch this way. They're going to actually
what
be
are
doing
they looking at?
Yeah, like what did I miss?
I spent 10 minutes. I spent 10 minutes looking at what the NPCs are looking at. See, what am I missing? It's like when I went to Safari and you see cars pulled over on the side of the road looking, and you think, what the fuck are they looking at? So
and then it's just behind you.
Yeah, it's like
That's
no, we're just sitting. No, they're just sitting there having a cup of tea or something. It's like no, we're not looking at anything.
But the idea is that the queuing up tasks for AI in the subsumption system, so that when they come to do tasks, it's not just a case of let me do this and now I stand around and wait for the next task to be queued up. It's multiple tasks that will keep them flowing and is ultimately the start of this 24-hour cycle for AI.
Thing.
Yeah, so it keeps them looking like, and you could follow them around and they'll be doing stuff. Or I hope that one day, if you follow them around, they'll turn around and go, "What the fuck do you want?
You keep following me for?" Yeah,
seriously.
Or they go to the security station, they walk into the security hoping you follow them in, and then you get arrested for.
This guy's following me. Please help.
I mean, I think it's going to be
female avatars are coming. So
yes.
I mean, if subsumption comes to as far as, like I said before, if like you're a barman and your stock runs low, or even anything, a shopkeeper, and your stock runs low, that the actual AI says, "Oh shit, I've sold too many of these things, I need to go and order it," and you see them going and putting an order in and actually creating jobs that way. I mean, if we ever get to that sort of standard, that would be just mind-blowingly amazing. It's just like you could literally just sit back and do nothing and watch all these NPCs make the universe run without you actually being involved in it.
It's all that start of like making tier 0, isn't it, and then building it from there. And
I mean, I don't know how long do you think we'll have to wait before we're going to start seeing them like mining and things like that, which would be pretty cool.
Oh, God, I don't know. I just want to see them flying around so that every ship you see is not either a player, security, or a pirate. There needs to be that diversity so that you can...
And not taking up landing pads.
Yeah, that's true. Christ. They have their own little special escape route. But being able to, if you see an AI flying around, that opens up the idea of, this is why they can't just put something in the game, because it opens up more areas. So if they just put an AI in the game, you could board them, which we have done in the past. You've boarded a pirate, cutlass or whatever.
People do.
And they just sit there. You can shoot them in the head. It's like, damn it, I wish I had more programming. Yeah. So it's a case of building it out further and then, salvaging stuff from them. And It's a long system, but I'm looking forward to the AI a lot. And like we've said before, 90% of the people that we bump into in the verse are going to be AI, so it's important to get it right. Otherwise,
Yeah, damn
it's a clusterfuck.
important.
Yeah.
And we
I
don't
have
want them all
stolen NPC ships before, and they had cargo. I mean, the police,
really?
the Crusader Security had medical supplies, and the pirates. This was back in like 3.0 when if you got out of your ship, the AI would just turn off, and then you can just float right over, blow the doors open off their hinges, and just float right in and then kill them.
Yeah, just like
anything special.
Poor AI.
Soon they'll shoot back.
One of these days, I hope they do.
Well, 3.3. Maybe not in ships, but Korea.
They're going to shoot
That's
back.
something they said about the something to do with on the monthly report about missions in Korea. Is there's two types of missions. You've got missions to go and get rid of the AI there, or you've got like a leader of some form of group, like AI group, that want to get rid of another leader who is at Korea. So it sounds like the AI. I don't know if they're going to be planet side. It sounds more like they're going to be just in Security Post Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think the planet side. That would be nice to go and find them planet side when you're doing a mission, collecting a box. But I don't know if that's the case.
We were kind of, I'm not allowed to say much, but we were talking about that last week and saying about how that video from Gamescom, the ambush scene, and really looking forward to like it when the AI start doing stuff like that. That would be so cool. Being able to
and the guy came in with the freelancer
and
was just like,
yeah, blow everything up.
Yeah.
But I think we're probably still a little way away from that at the moment. I don't know.
It sounds like it. I think this is tier 0 of combat AI.
I mean, I suppose
they've.
Go on. Sorry, I just jumped in. Go on.
They've with the roadmap, they've got a lot of stuff going on in terms of what we're going to see AI wise. So you've got like, it's not just going to be a case of they now shoot back. It's going to be a case of their movements are smooth, the way that they react to you, engaging multiple enemies, searching for you once they've seen you. It's reacting to stimuli using visual and audio and all this sort of stuff. That, like mining, the tier 0 is actually quite developed compared to what I would have expected.
Yeah, I thought so on the mining. Yeah. But I was going to say that for the
over the little bits that fell out.
For the ambush thing, they didn't necessarily have to program in first iteration. Doesn't necessarily have to learn to do a proper ambush, but I suppose they could put AI the same way as they did in the security post, like around wrecks or something, or where your things are, so they're kind of just camping out there. That possibly would be a way of doing it, but it's still not needing any extra sort of programming for that.
I would love that, because if you think with 3.3 having VoIP, you could go, like, let's say, for example, you have a mission to just go and pick up a box, like the typical mission at a wreck.
Yeah.
You could have like 3 or 4 people of your friends in a constellation going down with an Ursa rover, and then you sort of approach this wreck, but then you notice there's AI around, so you could then plan between yourselves, because you can actually physically talk to people, or audibly talk to people, and you could have someone over there with a sniper rifle, you could have someone over there with an assault rifle, like a heavy machine gun, and then attack them. And that type of gameplay sounds like it could be a lot of fun with AI.
It also mean that you might have to say, well, we can't land right where the wreck is. We might have to land out and get a couple of land vehicles going in to ambush them.
3.35 is they're adding no-fly zones, and that's not just going to be for use for over cities. They are going to have weather effects and other contrived reasons to prevent you from landing right on top of your mission objectives, like people do now. People just fly right up to the outpost. People fly right up to the wreck, and they just sit down right on top out. They get out of their ships. They walk up to the box, like literally 5 feet, 5-10 meters from their ship. Walk up to the box, pick it up, walk 5-10 meters back into their ship, and that's it. That's all the interaction. Like CIG really wants to get these CIG, it's too easy. CIG really wants to make the Ursa rover, the Cyclone, the Dragonfly, the Nox. They want to have them to be useful. So you're going to have more no-fly zones pop up around, like NPCs have anti-air vehicles or anti-spaceship vehicles. Start having some sort of defense network where they start shooting at you if you come in with your ship, and you have like potential taking damage, and now you have to repair that damage or expend munitions to get in there. So maybe coming in, they're going to have something, but no-fly zones are on the map.
Yeah, I
around
mean
the
we've
departure schedule.
we've seen this in the Lair 3 demo, haven't we? Where he's tried to land straight at the javelin site and it said nope,
Yeah.
and he had to travel like 3,000 kilometers. It's. I mean, I don't know if 3.3.5 or whatever it is that has Hurston is going to have that, because I thought that at first is that these no-fly zones are really cool because it means you can't land there. I think it might just relate to initially how you come into land at Lawville and how you're not allowed to go into the city and you have to follow a specific flight path down. Yeah. But I would like to think that soon, really soon, if not initially, we will have that whole no flight zones stopping you from landing at derelict ships because of weather, because of atmosphere, because of environmental effects that stop you from physically landing there. Again, would change the game completely in terms of how you would approach a mission and crew and whatnot.
It makes it much more different because you not only do we have to go further to get to the mission point, you've got a build for group gameplay because you need to maybe work together to get there. I mean, you could probably solo it maybe, but then you've got what ship do you take, because you can take a bigger ship with a car or a vehicle. And so that adds like that sort of element to it, because like, do you really want to walk like a massive distance? You might start bringing in ground transport because at the moment there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think I look forward to that, because I think that's gonna. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you in your stream today when you were saying that maybe this patch isn't going to be necessarily brilliant for the solo player. It's not going to be much different to what we've already got, but group play, it should make a huge difference. It should be a really good patch for us. And this is what I kind of hinted on it last week with orgs, and saying that we might see more orgs coming back and getting more involved, because the more we get that sort of teamwork into the game, the more people will start working together rather than this whole just doing everything on their own sort of thing.
It's like the reason why, well, I've done a stream where we had people on Discord all at the same time, and it was just a mess. Not any fault of anybody, but everyone's the same. Like, everyone's a volume of their own. They're all speaking at the same level, regardless of where they are in proximity to you. You could have two people protecting my fleet ship, and they're trying to coordinate between themselves, but they're also talking over me who's trying to stream, and then I'm trying. It just doesn't work. So having the VoIP where you can talk to people in different groups, you can talk to people in proximity, is the starting point. Like you were saying, it's
organization tools.
Yes, exactly. And playing solo, it's not going to feel any different because all they've done is expanded on the same stuff that we've already got. But as a group player, as multiplayer, as a streamer, having friends join us in game, we're going to have the ability to expand on the way that we approach missions and actually discuss it. Because the amount of times you have to wait for the delay, which isn't too much, but it's still enough to be annoying. Like, oh, I've turned left, by the way, and you're like...
It was like, oh, I mean, I've tried to follow you sometimes, and it's like, oh, where the fuck's he jumped to now? It's like, he's gone.
Being able to say that straight away is important. And then getting no fly zones in, having AI enemies on the ground, that creates a game that is fun and engaging. And at the moment, we don't have it. 3.3 may bring a little bit of that for multi-crew, but not enough, I don't think. I think it's still tier 0, so no fly zones, potentially just Lawville. Hopefully it incorporates areas of Hurston and whatnot with weather, but we'll see.
I mean, overall, we are definitely edging towards a much more playable, group-friendly game, so we're getting there. I think it definitely looks like it with each patch, and even on the road, when you look at the roadmap, the things coming up, it's like that we can see. You can see the right direction we're heading. We're heading there definitely.
Like the grouping system.
Yeah.
I still have this one just nice. For some reason, every time he tries to join my group, he cannot receive my invitation, and it's just him. Everyone else receives it.
Trolling you.
Yeah, I've been having that same thing too.
It's just there's always one person.
Trolling you.
Yeah,
He's always
like, oh no, honestly, I've sent it. I swear.
I can't join. I don't know why. Fuck joining it. Fuck that shit.
Can't fake it live on stream though, can you? It's like they see you doing it. Luckily, in fact, I think he clipped some of the stream to fucking send it as an issue council thing.
Yeah,
needs to be fixed.
So just having a quick look. I think that's mostly. They said that it did some tools to help them preview and use the animation things quicker. So how again more? There was a lot of things in ATVs about. I'll go ahead on that way about tools, and they've made another tool for this, and they did a tool for. I might as well show it off since we're on there, but looking at the assets, which it's not much for us as a backer and a gamer. But development-wise, they're saying that this is like a huge thing for them because it means that they can pull any asset at any time and just rip it out of the game and see it in a certain light. Because and so from doing some 3D modeling myself, not a lot, just a little bit. I wasn't. No, anyway, getting the lighting right, it really changes everything. And one of the projects I was doing just recently, which I can't talk about, this fucked me up a lot because I was in one situation looking at the thing I was trying to do, and it looked a certain color, and then when I took it to a completely different place, it was a completely different color, and I had already done something. It's like, oh my god, it's so different. So with
what
this
was
tool,
what was the thing you were looking at?
I can't tell you. So I know he's trying to get me. I'm not saying, not until a few days' time. But anyway, so keep trying. This makes a huge difference. So basically, if they can pull up an asset and see what it looks like under the same lighting for every different asset, then they know whether something's too dark or too light and that sort of thing. So yeah, like I said, it's not much for your average person to look at, but the main hint I was trying to get at, is that they're working on these tools, which is what's speeding up production. Because everyone says, "Oh, why is this taking so long?" and everything else. But it's these fundamental tools which will then eventually there'll be a point, I think, when we'll see production just like really ramp up because they've got all these tools made. Like the fact that they can pull this asset out and then give it to someone else. And then there was one, I don't know if it was the animation one or it was the UI thing
tool.
Where he said, so he said before it would have to go through Photoshop, some elements thing, and something about 4 or 5 different programs before they can put it in the game. Whereas now they can just give it to a designer who can just drag it on and say, right, yeah, I want to put that on a console, and it works. Like, you can't imagine how much time that would actually save, especially when you've got multiple studios working in different countries. The fact that you can just use this tool that everybody can use. So I think it's great. I think it's a good thing. And I think it's just worth noting, really. It's just and I remember when a couple of years ago, when CitizenCon, when we spoke to Brian about the planet tech, same thing. He said that the planets and things will speed up once they work on all these tools because they can give it to a designer, then it doesn't have to worry about all the calculations. They just get a paintbrush and just
their
paint it,
I
basically.
can't remember what they call it. Their solar creator or something like
Solid.
that.
Yeah, Solid.
Yeah.
It
So
was the planet thing. So Solid is how they put the solar system editor, isn't it? It's how they basically move the fucking planets. Imagine being in game while they're moving planets around.
Yeah.
And you're jumping somewhere and you see this Crusader just go, what the fuck was that all about? But then they have like this tool where they have the planet and they drag this line like that, and it just designs the landscape of a planet. It's just phenomenal. And like you're saying, the tools that they're creating, like I know for a fact the UI team, like Zane Bien is the head of the UI guys. And I think there's only 2 or 3 of them. And they are swamped because every time something new gets, like gameplay-wise, gets put into the game, UI is needed for that. So every time anything
like a big
new
bottleneck.
gets added, that's where the restrictions are. So getting it so that people can literally create it on the fly, this UI. They have the assets. Again, it's like procedural generation. They have these created assets that are then easily just created on the fly. It's not the same thing, but similar. They can create all the UI for each specific thing they need quickly, which reduces the workload for the UI team. And then we like they say, we'll see things coming quicker once they get the groundwork tech in. It's just a case of doing what they're already doing, which they have pipelines which take.
I think we're kind of noticing it already in the ship pipeline, aren't we? Like things are going through quicker. Well, some things are going through quicker. Other things not so much.
Ships are coming out amazingly fast these days.
Yes, exactly. And we can see them go from concept to pretty much completion. We're seeing ships that come in concept 2 months, 3 months, like the next patch they're being released, like the Hammerhead, the 600i, they came out. And I know like a lot of people see that as frustrating because things like the Karak, the Banu, all these sort of things are on the back burner, which I understand.
Karak.
It's frustrating.
Everybody drink.
But the Karak's coming out tomorrow, from what I understand. So
yeah, Christian said it. Christian said it was.
That's the
Christian
big fucking
said,
surprise at CitizenCon. Christian said it's going to be the announcement on the opening
game changer,
speech.
by the way.
The opening
That's the game
speech.
changer for CitizenCon.
Welcome to the Karak. Wow. There goes his job. Right, so what else are we looking at? So we've done, I think that's pretty much covered the AI. We kind of diverged again, as always. So I mean, one of the things with like Hurston and things being delayed, so we know that it's not coming with the original 3.3 patch. Like, how long do you think we're gonna have to wait?
I was so sad
before we get that.
Oh, it depends. I'm looking. Let me poke at the production schedule here real quick.
Do you think that they held it off just so they got something to show at CitizenCon, or do you think we're going to get different
potentially
stuff?
I wouldn't put it past Chris Roberts. He does like to do some showmanship, but going off it, just looking at Hurston, it looks like Lorville, like everything really looks finished. I mean, no-fly zones, how hard can that be to finish up? But it looks like it's just the planet and Lorville. They're probably working on Lorville. Is probably what's really holding them up. They got probably some replace me textures all over the place. They're trying to get some modeling just finished. Yeah, replace me textures.
Yeah, Lorville's 90%. It's actually more than Hurston Planet was. So yeah, pretty.
I can't
close
imagine
to it.
unless they're still working on the biome stuff for Hertz.
I mean, I suppose the question is that it's like how I don't think we're going to be waiting too long for it. But are they holding it back just so, like, because if they're not holding it back to show at CitizenCon, what do we think? So let's go. We can go on to a bit of CitizenCon stuff to link off of it. But like, so if they're not holding, are they holding Hurston back just to show off at CitizenCon? If they're not holding it back, what are they? What do you think they're going to show?
Besides Hurston, I would expect more capital ship stuff. I mean, we haven't seen anything on the Pegasus escort carrier. Hurston. I mean, you don't like Hurston? Hurston. I flipped the T and the S around. It's Hurt. It should be Hurston.
Hurtson.
Wow.
No. Don't send an ambulance. Send a Hurst ton. Send a Hurst ton.
Hurst on.
Oh my God.
Staff Citizen Book of Jokes.
There, put
the
that
back
right there.
page.
Back page.
I've got the
so
tumbleweed
jump
in it
points
somewhere.
Yeah. Jump points, capital ship stuff. Obviously it's gonna be they're gonna have like the new whatever the new concept ship is they got. Maybe they have two concept ships. Whatever the game changer. I suspect it's gonna be the pocket carrier, the Kraken. That was on the poll.
The Kraken.
The Caracas. It's a pair of Caracas.
A pair of Caracas. That's Macarinas.
Yeah.
Macarate.
Those shaky thingies.
Caracas.
Yeah. Carax. The Kraken. All I hear now is Kraken. So the Kraken.
The Kraken.
It's infectious, the stupidity. You can just watch it flow across the podcast.
Maracas, of course.
Maracas, that's it.
So fucking obvious now we hear the word.
Oh my God. Did we do that, right? We were just joking with the Kraken. Sure.
Yeah, seriously. Could not come to that conclusion. That was insane. Maracaraken.
Maraca Kraken.
The Krakens. I think they were the. What did I say? Crackers. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know anymore. I quit.
So yeah, oh my God, the Corsair, the Kraken, we got that coming up. We have an unnamed battleship, battlecruiser, or whatever it was from the stretch goals. We have never seen. Jump points. We haven't seen jump point stuff. They're getting close to finishing up Staten. Yeah, I think there was a tech demo for 2000, a visualization of what they thought it was going to look like from like 2014, I think.
I think we will see a lot in terms of the planets in Stanton, like Microtech Maybe some tech that they're working on to create the biome of Microtech, because obviously it's snow, ice, that sort of thing. It's going to be a difficult one. But then you've got Artcore. Maybe there's the future of that. Because we saw that last year. They could potentially show us the progress on that, because they have said they want to get Stanton done first. So early days, like the initial sort of Chris Roberts presentation is likely just to be a look at Hurston, a mission basically that they do in the Hurston location in 3.3. The road to release at the end is going to be an update to the roadmap, including 2019, end of maybe even early 2020. Looking at the other planets of Micro, because don't forget Stanton has 4 planets, 12 moons, so there's a lot of other things to come. We've got
there's also got the Aran asteroid belt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether we're going to see stuff like that early days, because they want to get Hurston done first. Sorry, they want to get Stanton done. And by that, they mean each planet with one single landing zone on and the moons. Things like the Astron Halo Belt and all the other finite details of each system is secondary to that.
They've said that they want to get all the major planets and moons in before they start fleshing out the smaller stuff like the Aran asteroid belt and whatnot.
I think the hidden gem. Sorry, the hidden gem of CitizenCon is going to be the alien ecosystems. I think that's something that we are not really expecting to get excited for, but we should. I reckon we're going to see some really cool stuff there, like Vandal or Jean landing planets. I mean, coming into landing.
We call that an extinction level event.
On what's available on the day, there's not much. There's like it kind of says what they're talking about, and none of it is that sort of advanced tech or anything in the future. So, which one do you think it would be slid into if they were going to show this stuff off, or do you think it's all going to be? It's not going to be the road to release.
It's going to be the roadmap update, as in terms of what we're going to see for quarterly releases from. Was it 3.6 we have now? Is it no 3.5 is the latest?
Yeah, but I mean, like they're saying, like we got you got the opening keynote. You've got the crafting space, which is showing you the visuals of the verse. That's not going to show you like weather and alien weather. I wouldn't have thought.
Cloud tech,
it could do.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of this cloud tech things. Just making the verse look cool.
Welcome to Lawville. So that's just going to be all about Hurston and Lawville. Then you've got
Tony Zurevec should be good.
Bringing players and NPCs to life. Although I imagine that's going to be like mocap, animations, things like that,
and subsumption. Yeah.
Then building the new fly experience. So this is something that I know Bandis will be more interested in. And to be honest, this is again we were talking about AI needed for Squadron 42. This is another really key thing, considering Squadron 42 was originally meant to be just flight based. You kind of need the flight mechanics to work. So it's going to be interesting to see what their vision for the future of the flight mechanics will be.
Oh, game is supposed to be flight based.
Yeah, I mean it's a spaceship game. I mean,
boarding was supposed to be the only FPS we would see, and space.
Was we not supposed to not get? Yeah, I was going to say stations. I thought we was always meant to have stations and be able to get out of your ships.
But not. I know planets. Planets and thing.
Okay, so that's that, and then we've got beyond content. Exploring the. Do you think this is where the new stuff will be then? All in that sort of.
This is where Cthulhu's gonna bust out from Chris Roberts' chest on stage. Aha! This is the Faustian bargain we made to make Star Citizen.
Or just Sean Tracy and
just Sean Tracy.
Andreas Rowe. But Sean Tracy, there's certain you can see by the people who are on stage how good it's likely to be. Because Sean Tracy, Tony Z, Josh Herman's a good character guy. He's always interesting to listen to. David Coulson is the new physics guy. So if those of you who are interested in the new flight model, do look into that. I'm personally not that bothered, but I do find combat flight a bit shit at the moment. So that's interesting to see. But people like Sean Tracy, Tony Zurevec, they're the ones you want to listen to because they go into such depth and really go further than just what's expected from them. There's going to be, I think, between like 6 and 7 is likely. Is it 6 and 7? Can you just scroll down, please, Piers?
Flight 67 is flight mechanics.
He's reading it off your screen.
I think it might be 7 and 8. I'll wait for the scroll down to come up. So
where you see the new
7
stuff.
and 8 might be the time as when you need to go for a shit, get some food.
Do you think so? I think isn't that when we're gonna when I just said like what are you expecting to see and you're on about future biomes and things like that. Well, isn't that going to be the bit we see it in the Beyond content?
No, between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. is the biome on the range. I wish they wouldn't come up with these. I bet it's Jared that when it comes up with all these ATV names, he's like,
it's on the second. Sorry, yeah. It's on the second.
So biome on the range
stage.
is the alien ecosystem. The mod squad I'm not too interested in. Characters should be good. I hope to see me. I don't know if it's going to be everyone's face in it now, but principles of flight, the next one, visual effects. I'm not too fussed about weapon sound effects. Again, we've heard this. It's just weapon sound effects. The 7 to 8 Beyond content should be quite interesting. The rest, like Dave Haddock with the lore of 3.3, a lot of people are interested in lore. I am as well, but not as much as the more gameplay stuff. And then voiceover. I think 7 to 8 should be quite an interesting one because they got the voiceover IP, how they create the sounds of the voice. So 5 and 6, go for a shit, get some food, come back at 6, you'll be all right.
5 and 6 is the time for a shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Surprise presentation when nobody's there at 9 o'clock. Everybody goes
That's
home.
When
and
he's
goes,
going to be handing out the free cameras. He's going to get the t-shirt
stuff.
cannon. Nobody's in the seats.
I know that's meant to be there, so everyone else don't be there.
Hot tips.
So, did they say we're going to see both stages now, or just the one stage?
I think the main stage is the only one that's being streamed.
Because we refused to pay. Is that what it was?
Pretty much. That's our punishment.
Yeah.
Chris is going to punish us for not.
It's like our punishment for refusing to pay.
You've been some naughty backers. You deserve to be punished.
That letter he wrote says it's just not going to be as good as it could have been.
Yeah, it's. Like, I think that's what it is. It's not
trying to make us feel guilty about eating all the cookies.
Yeah,
sorry, I've only spent $3.5 grand.
It was like one of those backward apologies. It's not like it's like I've made a mistake, but because I've made a mistake, you lot are going to get a shittier service than you were going to get if you had paid for it.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I'm sorry you're ugly.
Do you think that was a Sandy response? She's going, "Hey, I'll give him this. This will teach."
Did anyone notice on this?
Let them eat cake.
The ATV this week when Chris said something about 3.3 going to Ivacoti, and then Sandy was like, "So this is about," and she sort of explains it, and then you can see Chris's mansplaining face. He just wants to go in and be like, he's like, "Come on, you could do this." He really wanted to just engage with Sandy and take the piss.
The last two ATVs have had her asking questions after they've seen the bit.
It's awkward as fuck,
and
isn't
it's really fucking awkward.
Scripted.
And it's like,
it's obviously
of course it's scripted. Of course it is, but it's like, oh god. And he didn't. The first one he didn't listen because she said 3.1 and 3.2 were released on schedule. So what happened with 3.3? And it was supposed to be because of CitizenCon it moved, and then he just started going off on about OCS, and it's like, no, that's not what I asked at all. Oh, never mind. And she goes, anyway, let's continue. Because it's like, it's one of those, like, you can talk, but I'm not really listening to you. So she's going, blah, 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 and he's going, I'm not listening, so we're just going to say it anyway.
Nice,
yeah.
That's nice, that's nice. Yeah.
That's nice.
It's got ships in it, yeah. It's got ships and stations, yeah. Yeah, you can walk around if you want to, yeah. No, there's no female characters. No. What?
No girls allowed. The ultimate boys club.
And she's just like
it's like Star Citizen is the equivalent of that tree house with the paper with a handwritten sign in crayon that says no girls allowed.
Boys club.
Boys club.
But it was awkward when we saw him react.
I think the whole point is meant to be it's can you give me a summary or an easier to handle summary of what that person just said. But when he went about OCS, it was like, that's not a summary. You just literally repeated what the bloke said. But I get what they're trying to do. As Christian said, I get what they're trying to do. It's just not necessarily coming across.
That is something that Jared does really well, actually, is that when he's talking on like RTV, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to give us the basic, not the basic, but the scientific explanation, and then in a layman's term. And sometimes.
So what you're saying is we should cut to Sandy and then Chris and then cut to Jared for a third explanation.
So Jared would be like, so basically what they're trying to. Yeah,
what they both
let him file it out easily there.
I think it's partly because
we should cut to the bloke actually building the thing, and then Sandy, and then Chris Robertson and Jared.
I don't think Chris Roberts' explanation's bad. It's just more like you can tell she doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. So it's probably dumbed down enough for us to understand, but she's just like, I'm not even listening. Are you done? Yeah, okay. Let's move on.
Yeah, you can see his little smile.
But I get what they're trying to do. That's all good.
And it's appreciated because a lot of people aren't always. I mean, I'm not savvy with things that like the tech side of things, and when I do my weekly videos, I just literally repeat what they're saying sometimes because I have no idea of the tech side of things. I need someone next to me saying, "So just explain." I am Sandy. To Chris.
Yeah, you are the Sandy.
If you want, I can come down to your stream and I can help you out with that. I can be Chris to your Sandy.
You can do the mansplaining face.
I can
so basically,
darling,
honey, let me
explain this so you understand it.
And then you can put it on you can put it on your YouTubes and people can listen to you and think you know what you're talking about.
That whole section will be dubbed with Vertigo's voice.
Well, there was remember the ATV they put out that didn't have any voiceovers.
Oh yeah,
that was calling all devs. I started doing voiceovers for the devs.
Nice. Were you streaming at the time then?
Yes, yeah, I was.
Perfect timing. I was sat there with Jared. I'm like, all right, okay. I think has anyone else commented on this? And then I skipped forward, and every other dev was silent.
Yes.
That VOD needs to be made.
How have people not done that anyway? Just sat there and done their own voiceover for what they're talking about. Just make it up.
Yeah.
There's like mock the week. They do that where they watch the video of the news and then they just have the panelists do the voiceovers for it. We just need that. That would make ATV a bit more interesting.
There you go, Miss. That's our next line of videos.
There we go. We've got our set up.
ATV, bad lip reading for ATV.
Yeah, stay tuned. Right, so is there anything else you want to say about CitizenCon? Apart from the fact that we're not going, because that's why we're all sitting here. It's like, fucking bastards. There seems to be a lot of people going. There's a lot of on my Twitter feed at least. There's a lot of fuckers going about. It's like, oh, okay, I've landed in Austin. I've landed in Austin. He's like, fuck you. We're not. But no, I think it'll be good. I mean, even we've went to last year's in Germany, and like I think even Mac was pretty much the same. We talked to a lot of people. We missed most of the presentations, but it was good to just meet people and chat about the game. Really, to be honest, I think
true.
Go on.
Sorry, when you're actually there, you have all these ideas of you're going to watch all these panels, but really, you have no idea what's going on. You're just seeing the fancy stuff because you're not listening to what's going on. You're talking to everyone else. So being present, it's like going to a football match or a soccer match or American football, I'm sure. You sit in the crowd, it's the worst way to watch the game because you can only have one perspective. If you're watching it at home, you get all perspectives. So it is better to see it at home, but you don't get that engagement from the community. You don't get to meet everyone and you don't get to see the devs and stuff. So ultimately, you're getting better if you just want the content and you're an unsocialist and you hate people. But it's definitely worth going, and I'm jealous of everyone going.
Yeah,
like really jealous.
I remember during the main presentation in Germany though, looking over, and there was just Bio asleep in the stands. Just like, oh, he's obviously interested. It's just like,
yeah, he's getting money's worth out of this.
That was pretty funny. He had all these like glow sticks and everything sticking out of his hair. It was a long day. It was a long day.
Yeah, that was like, what the fuck's Bio doing? We'll make our own entertainment here.
But that was kind of, I mean, that's flying through like the Arc Corp, what's the planet with all the stuff on it? That was quite good for the big screen. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember the word now.
The planet. place.
Is it Art Corp? Yeah, it is Art Corp, yeah.
Area 18 and 1921.
We had the fly-through thing, yeah. That was quite good to see with the big screen, but otherwise, yeah, you kind of end up talking over a lot of it, which is probably what's going to happen on your Wednesday stream anyway. You'll just talk over everything. Yeah, if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you want. Now you make me feel guilty.
Suppose so. You know, if you
Are you
if you
guys
want to take
doing
a... No.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you
gonna be
can
doing
fucking...
CitizenCon.
Yeah.
Okay, go on then.
I'll wait
you
till
plug
the
it now.
end. I'll wait till the end. When you say, what are you doing
What are you doing
later
next
on?
week?
Tell us what you're doing this week.
I don't want to
I'll
know what
wait
you're
till
doing this week. I'm going to just say what you're doing next week.
You're just going to be like, thanks for watching, bye.
Just click.
I'll wait till the end. I'll wait till the end.
Okay, cool.
Seems inappropriate.
Right, so where were we? I think that we covered most things. Yeah, I don't know. We as always we go off on a tangent. So,
Oh god, the tangents.
What's our Star Citizen percentage?
yeah,
Over 10%.
2 to 1.
Way over 10%.
Yeah. We have delivered our statutory required Star Citizen content.
Yeah, so
to
we
our
brought to
audience.
you. 10%
We get the stamp of
today.
approval from Tattooman.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. We've covered most things. So, do you think?
Have any
Well,
questions?
with CitizenCon, do you
Yeah.
think we're going to see anything to do with Squadron 42 at all, or do you think that's
Of
going to
course.
be nothing?
Of
At
course.
all?
I actually think no.
Really?
I think
I
they may
think-
save that for later on, like the anniversary sale. Oh, not anniversary sale, the fucking
Holiday
live
stream.
stream.
We're just going to save it for the anniversary sale.
Show us on this, yeah. So I'm divided. I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do.
The road to release is suspiciously for the road to release of Squadron 42. That'd probably come out before Star Citizen does.
Definitely.
You think that's what that is? The conversation about releasing Squadron?
Oh, sorry. You mean the final Chris
Yeah, the final-
Roberts?
Possible.
Yeah. It could be
Well,
it could be the production schedule for Squadron 42. The road to release the production schedule for Squadron 42.
They've mentioned.
Here's the production schedule. Here's everything we need to complete so you can get the production schedule for Squadron 42.
Yeah, that's a good idea. The production schedule for the production schedule. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something on Squadron 42, but I don't like. They've not mentioned it at all. Squadron
I've got a
42.
feeling
I
we
know,
won't
like,
see
partly
anything.
it's secret,
Yeah.
but I feel like if it was something Squadron 42, we would see a lot more of it. Don't forget the lore posts that we get now are reflective of what we're going to see. So Microtech, SATA ball potentially. I doubt it. I don't think so. But Microtech, I think, is one thing. The latest lore post. We've not heard anything. Yeah, sorry, SATA ball.
I'm glad that went away.
It's like It's like soccer and football. I say SATA ball.
Satellite
ball.
You
ball.
say satellite ball.
SATA.
SAT. It's like the
SATA.
memory.
SATA.
SATA.
Yeah.
Satellite. SATA ball.
SATA.
SATA
SATA ball, mate. It's fucking
If you're
SATA
from
ball.
down south, it's SATA ball, right? We're playing a bit of SATA ball. So
You
deal with
fancy a
it.
game of SATA ball?
All right, you
No,
what?
mate, I've got to
You
pick
what,
up
mate?
the kids. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. What about tomorrow? I can't do it tomorrow either. The lass is taking me down to local chipping.
No, you got
Well, what
northern.
about Wednesday?
You got
CitizenCon,
northern now,
mate. I
don't you?
can't do it.
SATA ball. Anyway,
I just
yeah,
feel like a fifth wheel here. These two guys are yucking it up.
We're riffing in British.
Yeah, I feel so
Brit
left
riff.
out.
we're Britain it up.
You do a better accent than we do.
Really? I do?
In Brits. Yeah, British accent.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll try it. Let's see if I can do it.
Done. Work is...
What a cup of tea, governor.
Okay, you don't. Let's move on. quick.
No.
No, don't cut. We'll take that bit.
That
We'll
was
take that.
American with the word governor.
We'll
didn't
take
even
that bit out
try.
of the podcast. It's fine.
I really did try.
I've heard you speak British way better
Have
than that.
I?
in the past. Yes, you have.
Have you? Have
I
I leaned
swear.
in to whisper you sweet nothings?
I'm gonna really deal you some good dealings, Sarge. You just wait. Wait, British. You just fucking wait, mate.
Fucking you what, mate? You what?
You can do Cockney, though, can you?
Oh no, I think I could do a little bit of Welsh.
Oh fuck me. Go on then.
Really? What a
So
dialect
the-
have you?
there was this
ambulance.
this Welsh recruit in Custer's division, and Custer, it was his last. It was Custer's last stand. It was his Custer's last stand, and there was this Welsh recruit, and you can hear the Indians off in the distance, banging on their drums. Custer and the Welsh says, "What are they doing?" And the Custer says, "That's the war drums." And the Welsh recruit turns to Custer and says, "Those thieving bastards. They're banging on their war drums. Those thieving bastards." No.
What?
No.
Wait.
You've got to explain this joke because no.
I'm waiting for the Welsh accent. I'm waiting for the Welsh
accent.
Where was the Welsh accent? He goes, I can do Welsh. Where was the Welsh?
It's their war drums. Those thieving bastards. No, okay. I'm just bad at this.
Is that you're Welsh? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh fuck. Oh my god. That was almost Irish. I don't know about Welsh.
I don't know where that was going.
Those are okay. So do I have to explain the joke? Okay, war drums, our drums, because it sounds like our drums when he says war drums, and it's just like those they've stolen
our drums.
Yes.
They're banging on our. I can't do accents either, so I'm not really taking the piss because I'm terrible. But I see what you're doing now. I see what you're doing.
I can hear what you're doing.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Fuck off! Just don't do it again. Don't ever do that again.
I was just saying again, so when's he going to do the Welsh accent?
I think, like, Forbidden Tech says that joke's supposed to do the Geordie accent, not the Welsh accent. So, you could do a Geordie accent, just not a Welsh one. In fact, Miss, can you even do a Welsh
accent? Has an accent, like, from Star Trek? Like Geordie LaForge? What? Can't see shit, Captain?
No, Geordie is in Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle. See, I'm not from around here.
No, I can't do it. I can't. Miss, can you demonstrate a Geordie accent?
Why, eh, man?
Yeah, there you go. That's better.
That's about as Geordie as it gets.
I just couldn't remember what it was because of Vertigo's Welsh accent. But Miss, can you even do a Welsh accent?
Borada.
No, that's not speaking Welsh. Borada Acravia Pitapata is hello, friendly butterfly or something stupid.
Hello, friendly butterfly.
They kind of not very well. I can't do a Welsh accent very well now.
So you're
probably slightly better than Vertigo.
So what you're saying, Miz, is I could deliver a better Welsh accent than you can.
Yep. No, Geordie. At least Geordie accent.
No, because yours.
That wasn't a Welsh accent. No matter how much you tell yourself it was not Welsh.
Oh well.
Shall we just like move on to the next?
Can we just move on? We need more Star Citizen content.
Exclamation question.
Has anyone got a question for us? Because that's wow.
Relating to Star Citizen, not relating to this bit we're doing right now.
What are you doing? Oh, there you go. Thank you. Better go.
Monthly report. Have we gone through everything in the monthly report? There was this weird outfits. Do you like those? They look a bit
weird.
VoIP is sounding more and more interesting.
Have you got a picture? Are you showing us a picture or yeah?
Oh my God.
They're the Virgil. So these Virgil Def Pro Def.
Big band though.
Right. Jesus. So in Fallout 76, they have if anyone's seen the video, there's some information released about their PvP system. And about the fact that, because we have a lot of people that don't like being attacked in Star Citizen, and we also have like the whole no armistice zone and things like that. Oh, for God's sake, Christian! I was trying to. Oh, for fuck's sake! Serious?
So true. Do we not have subtitles on?
Fuck's sake!
Oh my God! You're gonna be on the you're gonna be called into the office. Tomorrow.
Christian, we were watching that stream, I hope you know.
Yes.
And Alex is not happy. I'm not happy.
God damn it, man.
Stop it!
Dude, stop it.
I think I might have to just end
so
it
naughty.
here. So, anyway,
so naughty.
What are you up to next week? I'm not going to go. I can't even be asked to do this. No. It's
What
too
are you
late.
doing
Now.
next week, Mac?
We're gonna have to cut it before it's too late.
Okay, so on Wednesday, if you want more of this sort of shit, it's probably going to be nothing like this.
Next Monday it won't be a podcast, so
No, that's it. The Miss channel will be off the air. It's obviously CitizenCon on Wednesday, so I am a member of the Redacted stream team, community content creators team, and we are doing a Science Movie Theater 3000-esque stream like what they did last year. For those not attending CitizenCon, like Saurus, myself, Twerk, Detox, Noobifier, and I've just brought my pen, and many others are doing a live stream together, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's starting quite early, I believe, about 11:30 our time in the UK, and I think that's 6:30 a.m. for
Sorry, chat's just killing me now. It's like... Oh my god.
So if you are not watching the stream on the website live, feel free to join us on Twitch at on Twerk's 17's channel. I will be there.
I can't do this. Vertigo, go.
I'm gonna be doing it too. I'm gonna be breaking my rule on restreaming. We're probably gonna do some snarkathon on that thing on the CitizenCon presentation come Wednesday. We're looking to start up Fallout 2 Let's Play probably next week when we can get it running. Going through some more good old role playing. Just keep rolling with Star Citizen. Looking forward to the PTU. And maybe Mrs. Recovery.
Yeah, I was going to start streaming again, but let's put an end to that one.
Maybe it's time to go into hiding, a little bit. Let the heat blow over.
Wow. So we do have one question, which isn't a question. So, but Viking is it's a statement. He literally says this is more of a statement than a question. But I don't think I've had this much fun watching a podcast for some time. Really, well done, lads. So yeah, Viking X, thank you very much.
That's all we've got to do is break terms of service.
Yeah, first and last
fucking
time.
funny.
Pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back. Oh, so yeah, there we go.
So there's no questions.
No,
Very
there
good
is literally no questions. That was
Everybody's too busy
and
laughing. Everybody's doubled over in their chairs.
I would tell you what I'm doing, but it's probably not going to be online anymore. So that's that. Yeah, so I finished my project, so I may be streaming some more. Hopefully next Monday's podcast, I don't actually know who we're going to have on because Madness is still away, so we need to try and find a fill-in. That's if I'm still here. And yeah, I'm just trying to think. Hopefully we'll have some more reveals. So the work that I've been doing, I should be able to tell you by Friday, although I might be revealing before then.
I would like to sign up for next week because obviously we'll have CitizenCon stuff, and I think it's going to be quite fun. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
So there you go then. So you got the same three
We can have
next week, and then if I'm banned, I can go on someone else's show with either one of these two could host it.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
then
all
we can
good.
work on getting another person banned.
Yep, let's
Yeah.
tick them off.
And the great thing about this, it's like when an artist dies, their artwork becomes more valuable. I could sell those VODs for like $20.
Okay.
Burn them to a CD, and I can hawk them at
YouTube is-
CitizenCon. Who was the
YouTube's
VOD
gonna
when Miserable Sales
sky.
got banned?
Let's watch it back in slow motion.
I'll be famous as I
And
get
right
banned.
here, it's like it's right here. You can tell exactly when the TOS was violated. Like that's the second right there.
This was the point at which you fucked up.
So nice.
Not me.
Yes. No, just me. No,
Should
me
have-
for
you should
inviting
ban me
you,
from-
as
yeah.
always. So, I'm trying to think. Oh,
$20.
Friday,
$20 per
I
disc.
should be doing D&D again. So if anyone's interested in that, they can come and see that. And then on Monday, yes, like I said, the podcast will continue. I can't talk about the stuff I'm doing until probably, well, I'll talk about it next Monday. So make sure you tune in next Monday to find out what my NDA's been all about. Although if you're following me on Twitter and stuff, you'll see in advance because I'll be posting stuff as soon as I'm allowed to. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. If you missed the start of the show or any of our past shows, you can come and find us on !Asylum. I think should give you links to the YouTube channel. Make sure you go and give us a sub over there. You can catch up on all the old shows. Equally as fun as this one, I assure you. And still having, equal maybe. And we also did last week, I mean, it's kind of getting to a point where I don't think it counts anymore, but the Leaks extra video, which is something that we may be looking to do in the future. So this is obviously about Star Citizen, obviously, the 10% that we do. So we are considering talking about other things as well. So we might do them as just YouTube videos or whatever, we'll see. So depending on, let us know in the feedback, in comments, tell us what you want, whether you want to hear us to do a different podcast about other things other than just Star Citizen or not, or you just want us to shut the fuck up and go, which is more than likely, so that's fine. So yeah, thanks all for joining us. If you haven't hit the follow, please make sure you do. If you're not following either of these two wonderful people, please make sure you go and give those two a follow as well, especially after that display.
Be around much longer, to be fair.
And for those of you who want to send complaints, please send your complaints to twitch.customersupport.
Exclamation, fuck you.
Customer support at twitch. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there we go. So I'm just gonna cut it before we get banned.
What about raiding? We need to raid.
Okay, we need to send.
Yeah,
this
who are we
to
gonna send this
someone.
rowdy bunch of people to?
Yeah, let's get someone else off the air.
Yeah. Who else is there?
So we have Nerd, Red Lear, Bad News, Farasalt, Thale.
Who do we got?
I don't know. I could do Farasalt. He hasn't been on for a long time though.
Yeah, Farasalt. He hasn't been doing. Yeah.
Already from death. Right, okay. He's got an easy name to do, so we're going to do Farasalt. And it links in with not having Madness here, being the salty one, so.
And the raid is much better now, because you can sort of choose when you go.
Yeah, just type in /raid whenever and just hit the button.
So I haven't seen him for a while, but make sure you go over and say hello to Farasalt. Let him know the Asylum sent you. And thank you all, guys, and we'll possibly see you next Monday at the same time.
You'll see me. I'm not banned. Mrs.
And me too.
And
okay, you'll see these two at least next Monday. So
like
honestly, guys, thanks very much. Follow and goodbye.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Guys. Am I supposed to click leave and then that says go with?